Ah, the anthem is out the way. It's time to play. And for the final time this season, it's game time. So we talked about him, probably one of the best netminders in the league, Sam Gospel. Gospel, you say he's going to have a fairly easy day today, but it's still going to rely on the defence in front of him.
Well, yeah, and that defence was fantastic in the semi-final, wasn't it? McMullen and Bo Neely, number 54 and number 8. Keep your eye on those two. They're both wearing the clear plastic full face shield. Leeds also got some bigger bodies on defence. Lewis Baldwin, Jordan Griffin, and young Dylan Hare rounding out that Leeds decor.
And up the other end, obviously, Moore there in his net. He's going to be calling on his defence, no doubt, today a lot.
Yeah, and even though there was a few lapses in concentration yesterday, Tom Norton has consistently been one of the best defensive players, whether it's the old EPL, whether it's this new era of the National Division. Norton is as the player assistant coach, he's going to very much kind of lead the line. Callum Buglas, Brad Bowering has had an absolute breakout year on the back end for them, and then they've got the big body of Joe Gretton as well, should anybody have any inclination to get too close to Jordan Marr's net.
Right, so with that, gentlemen, for the final time this weekend, over to you.
Thank you very much. Probably worth mentioning before the puck drops that today's a curtain call for two all important players who've had impressive careers.
Very much so. James Archer on one side in Leeds, blue and yellow, and Will Weldon, the captain of the Peterborough Phantoms, will both call time at the end of today. They both got their little extension of a day, but one of these two gentlemen goes home with a few pounds of silverware in the locker, and the other one just has to hang their head and call time. We're about to find out who.
And from the face-off for the Knights have won immediately. They're in the blue jerseys, shooting towards Jordan Marr's goal to our right. And Peterborough are in the red jerseys with the dark blue trim, shooting to our left. Peterborough have just managed to break a puck free and clear their zone, but it's flipped straight back in, where Marr has opted to leave it for Norton. Norton knocks it to the side for Buglas. He scored the overtime winner, the controversial, we should say, overtime winner in their semi-final against Telford. Leeds turn it straight back towards Peterborough defence, and Buglas gives a pass off the board. Howlett's controlled that one with his skate, and now driving wide, was looking to get inside to Barron, but he can't, so he just knocks it in the corner. Barron lets that one go, and Peterborough can bring forward with a little bit of speed here. Pass up to centre, that was tapped forward, but Witkowski just come out of the bench. Now Witkowski taking a lane to the net as there's a feed inwards towards Neely. Dynamic bit of skating there from Bo Neely, the young Canadian defenceman. He knocks it back down into the corner. Of course, those of you fans of the great Boston Bruins teams of the 80s will no doubt recognise the significance of the number 8 and the name Neely on the same jersey. I'm sure that's not a coincidence.
Probably not, no. The Knights needed to be careful there, though. There was a hint of too many men as Witkowski was coming off the bench there. Certainly Ferrara put his arm in the air, gesturing to the officials for it, but maths on the side of the Knights on that occasion.
Hayward punches that face-off forwards, and Peterborough try to exit by swinging the puck round. Mitchell King working it to Weldon. Weldon's pass up to Padalick was in an offside position, goes all the way through to Gospel, and Gospel just sticks it aside calmly for his defence to come back and start working things forward. This is Dylan Hare, plays it up to centre, and they opt to flip in, but now Weldon carrying. Weldon primes and shoots, and it's in the glove of Gospel. And Weldon takes a little shove from Wesser and gives him one back.
Well, very much in Will Weldon's wheelhouse here, even if that was her last game, probably exactly the same as his first game in Peterborough. He has never been backward about coming forward as Will Weldon, and that's the sort of thing he would like to do. You just get towards Sam Gospel's net and try and rattle him early. You think if Peterborough get an early goal here as well by hook or by crook, that will help Peterborough try and set the tone.
Leeds in control from the face-off. They spin it round for Archer in his final game to push forward. This is Ethan Hare, backhands one through to Marr's goal. Marr just snaps that up into the glove for a whistle at the opposite end.
A good example there, though, of just how quickly the Knights can kind of break forward and create some of those chances, even if a couple of Knights players at the end of that play did nearly skate into each other. And that speed doesn't just come from the big names on the top line either, it's down through the lineup. Ethan
Hare wins the face-off, and it was shot by Endicott, which was blocked from the glove of, I think, Norton. Griffin now for Leeds to Perret, over to Endicott. Endicott dumps one in. Ethan Hare goes in on the forecheck, and Archer and Griffin doing a good job here to seal the boards off. Ethan Hare working under pressure from a couple of Phantoms defenders. The Phantoms do clear the zone. This will go all the way down, and we'll get a whistle for icing. Puck coming straight back to the front of Jordan Marr's net.
Yeah, a couple of moments like that already to start this period. Although that won't really concern Peterborough. They know that they've got the measure of these kind of things. It is a byproduct sometimes of how they choose to play that they will give up a few icings like that.
So Kieran Brown out now with Matt Howlett and Barron. It's over to McMullen. McMullen gets it inside. Howlett, good job by Peterborough just to choke away any potential shooting opportunity, but Leeds continue to work on the periphery. This is Howlett looking inside. Oh, he found Brown. There's a great save by Jordan Marr. Didn't have much time to react, and we know Brown is absolutely lethal in that position. Now Peterborough looking to break. This is Padalek. Padalek's got a little bit of room for a shot, and a flashy glove save there from Gospel. Absolutely no problem shooting from that distance.
Not Padalek, that's my knowledge. I think that was actually Jasper Foster who made a dash up the ice on that occasion. I'm sure Alish Padalek will be delighted to think that you think he looks that young.
And that fast as well.
Perhaps. Yes, indeed. But yeah, but that's good from Peterborough. They kind of needed just a quick break up the ice, a face-off in the opposition zone, give Jordan Marr a little bit of a breather for a few seconds. Yeah,
you wonder if Peterborough watched the North-South final because they just wanted to get a few quick shots in on Gospel from any distance. Oh, there's a deflection in front there from Bjorkley Nordstrom that just lofted its way gracefully over the net. But another dangerous scoring attempt here from the Peterborough team. They're bringing forward from their own zone now with a long cross-ice pass, which is up to Luke Ferrara. Ferrara pushes it forward for Sladkovsky to chase in. Sladkovsky barrels over Baldwin. A bit of a collision there, not really a hit. I think that puck left the zone, but we haven't got an arm up, so Buessa will have to find a way to get it out, and it is out now. Ferrara back to collect for Peterborough. He looks up ice, he chooses to dump, and Peterborough changing their lines here. Bo Neely pushes it up, and it's being battled for just in front of the Leeds bench here. Mitchell King tried to dig one loose for the Phantoms, but now it's with McMullen. McMullen gets the skates going, fires one in to the Peterborough zone. Will Weldon back to handle it. He takes a body from Brown. And then, a loose pass here has been picked off by Howlett. Howlett's got Brown beneath him and Dylan Hare above if he can find. Brown gets it and then puts it back down for Howlett. Howlett, good job turning against Bowering. Now Barron, back to Howlett, up to the point. Bo Neely just has left the zone, surely. Although, yeah, we do have a hand up, so Leeds will have to tag up here. And that gives Peterborough a little bit of breathing room to bring the puck forward. They do that with a pass which was onto Padalek's skate. He kicks it forward for Mitchell King to get in. Neely pins him to the boards. And they go battling. Mitchell King turning away. He's dispossessed by Brown back here, helping out. And the puck has just flipped up into the bench. No, it's returned to the ice surface here, so Bowering hesitates, takes a look, opts to go D to D. They play a long pass up to the wing for Hunt. Hunt just wrists one right the way down into the Leeds zone. Oh, good job riding the hit there from it was Foster, I think. Now, Ethan Hare, and Griffin had a great shot. He had Ethan Hare on the inside. Takes his shot and then goes straight to the net, and the shoving continues.
Yeah, there's a real physical undercurrent kind of going on in this game. A few people might have missed just down here when there was a battle on the boards. Brad Bowering and Matt Hayward having some pretty hefty whacks at each other. And yeah, with emotions high, with adrenaline high, we're going to see probably a few of these instances as well where folk are, a few pushes and shoves after the play. It is going to happen. It's part of the parcel of the game, really. You can't avoid it, especially when this is the last game of the season where everything is on the line. Guys are not going to be shy about giving a few sort of hacks and whacks if it's going to get them an advantage.
So good job here by veteran Hayward to first of all win the draw and then win the puck back for Leeds, but it's bounced out of the zone. It's carried forward now by Bjorkley Nordstrom for the Phantoms. Goes onto his backhand, and then he tried to centre that one, but Hayward is back on cover to bring the puck forward to Buessa. We've got a whistle here, and Stajkowski and I think, is it Dylan Hare? Have a little
like Bailey Perry to me.
Bailey Perry, yes, correct. A little contretemps between the two. Didn't see the origin of that.
They sort of clashed into each other. Stajkowski ended up sort of knocking Perry onto his backside into the net. And probably a good idea, actually, this one from both officials. Some in some circumstances might have let some of these sort of off the bits and pieces go, but particularly as well after that sort of Stajkowski hit where he literally sort of ended up balled up in the air, almost like Sonic the Hedgehog spinning around. He kind of hit his man so hard there. And just to kind of set a tone to the players of, look, this is not, don't do stupid stuff now. You will get the life tax, and the life tax is a 2-minute sit down for the pair of them in the box for roughing.
So, coincidental roughing minors will cancel each other out, and we'll be at 5-on-5. Weldon wins the draw, back to Padalecki, and his shot bounced and then tumbled through towards Gospel. Gospel gets the whistle.
Yeah, it's bread and butter, that sort of save, Simon Gospel. Not quite the pace on the shot that I think Peterborough will have liked. It took a massive deflection, which took a lot of the speed out and just landed in his glove.
Weldon very good on the draw, and Padalecki sets up to shoot, doesn't he, from that Will Weldon face-off win. This time they've shot it in from the point, but that was blocked. And now Thorpe has to do a careful job of keeping Kieran Brown from the puck, but you can never keep Kieran Brown off the puck for long, and he got it back. But it is eventually turned over to Peterborough. They flip one forward. It didn't work out, and now here's Brown. Oh, shot high, his shoulder save. Almost raising the arm there, Jordan Marr, to just guide the puck over into the netting. Yeah,
he had a sort of relatively decent positioning, quite square. Brown is normally a guy who, you know, he has quite a flashy skill set. We've seen, of course, this year, the old Michigan goal here and there. Good anticipation by Marr that that puck was going to go up rather than down, getting his shoulder up to the shot.
So, just over 6 minutes played of this first period. Scores still level, and generally fairly even on the balance of play, would you say, Anthony?
I'd say at the moment, yeah, I think the Knights have done much more kind of the running going forward, but Peterborough have not been shy to just, you know, hold on the puck, try and, you know, like I say, keep that pace a little bit lower. We talked about that yesterday as well against Telford. Actually, it's a massively more important factor here for the Phantoms to try and just not let Leeds going. If they get their legs going, we saw what happened yesterday to Swindon when Leeds are at full speed.
And Leeds are working it now in the Phantom zone, but the net is off, and there's a few glove punches being thrown between Endicott for Leeds and Gretton for the Phantoms.
Two of the more likely culprits to be involved in such things. Yeah, Scott Robson's come around the back of the net there, and he's just somehow caught his skate in the bottom of the net and pulled it off. No sort of malintent there in terms of denying a goal scoring opportunity. Robson's just miscalculated where that white part at the back of the bottom of the net was for it. Took the net off, and Gretton and Endicott used it as an excuse to have a check of each other's gloves.
Leeds making a very late change here, bringing out a fresh line of Hayward, Wesser and Witkowski. Wesser lined up to shoot if Hayward can win this one, but it goes the other way, and Robson tries a hard clearance. That's blocked out by Leeds. And another whistle here now we have. For what reason?
A hand pass.
A hand
Signal
pass.
Mr.
Okay.
Ions. Noted as well, actually, in there, and probably a one for the future for the Peter Phantoms. Jarvis Hunt's taken a fair few face-offs this weekend. There's with as we talked a fair bit about this weekend about Weldon, his proficiency in the face-off dot. Hunt has quite a considerable amount of his career in front of him. If they can build him up in that same mould, that's a massive boon for them. It's
not a glamorous role, is it? But it's actually it's a crucial one. And if you've got a player who can get you, I don't know, an extra 10 possessions. The shot there from Baldwin just came off the skirting of the net, especially at key moments in the game.
You can't win the game without the puck.
Absolutely. So, long flip in from Peterborough. Baldwin has to go back and collect this one for Leeds. He turns up ice. He's got McMullen for a little bit of support here, but instead he goes to Bwesser. Bwesser cross-ice pass for Witkowski. Witkowski carries over the blue. He's under pressure, so he just rings it round for Hayward, who looking for Witkowski back out in front, but the pass wasn't pinpoint accurate as Hayward had to make it on the turn. Leeds have put the puck down for Phantoms to work out, and Buglas does not clear the zone though, and so Howlett now can get skating, protecting the puck, and between he, Barron and Neely, Leeds have managed to preserve this attack. Howlett looking for out front. Well, he had Brown and he had on 37. Barron, I believe, yeah. Coming down looking for that one.
Yeah, there was a moment there where Ferrara just skated right across the line of sight of Brown, so he couldn't quite track the puck as he couldn't step into it very well.
Brown now pushes one forward and chases down his own loose puck. Plays it off to Barron. Barron up to the point with Dylan Hare. Across with room for Neely. Oh, shot. That was not far off. Rapid shot there from Bo Neely. Bo Neely now pinching on the puck to keep it in for Barron. Brown tidies up and then plays a cheeky little backhand that perhaps no one was expecting across the slot. They're looking to get it out in front here for Howlett. And now they've managed to get it into a position, but Brown can't win the stick battle against the Peterborough defence. And now Brown's taken a spill. There's a little groan or sigh from the audience. Mitchell King, meanwhile, for Peterborough, has chased the puck right down to the corner, and he lost his edge as he was engaged by Bo Neely. Bo Neely brings up into space now for Leeds. Passes forward to the wing for Archer. Archer bodied out the way of the play, and the linesman's taken a spill, which always gets a good response from the crowd.
There's nothing more fun than a zebra falling down, apparently, at this stage of the weekend. But no, good work there by Archer.
Endicott has knocked the helmet off Robson. Robson's done a good job to get his helmet straight back on, so he can stay on the ice. Now Hunt can't clear the zone, and McMullen can't bring it forward. So back and forth we go. But here's Hunt, and he has managed to push it clear. He's got Foster on the inside. He went for a heavy shot, and as one thing we observed yesterday was Leeds are very good at blocking shots, very committed to it. Here comes Ethan Hare for Leeds, forward. Man on the inside is Endicott. Couldn't find him with the pass. Back we come the other way. Pass up to centre, and Phantoms come forward with Glossop. Good job by Dylan Hare to interfere with Glossop as he was looking to take a lane to the middle. Bouglas now for Phantoms. Bouglas misplayed his pass, and a good bit of defensive cover from Bjorkley Nordstrom helps clean up that mess for the Phantoms. Forward they come Leeds with Dylan Hare. Knocks one forward into the zone for Norton. Yeah, Leeds can just stifle a little bit, and there have been a couple of spells here where Peterborough struggling to get the puck out, and Leeds have been able to really go to work in the zone.
Yeah, they really have done it. But Peterborough are quite content to get involved in those ball battles, of course, and get involved. That's very much, getting in people's faces, their way of doing things. Great sight to see here actually as well. You had for a little while there quite a high-powered line of Ferrara and Bjorkley Nordstrom with young Louis Kinniston, who's been out on the ice. He's just been replaced by Lucas Stadkowski, but certainly a good one there. It looks like we're losing one of our linesmen. Mr. Olschak is having to take a moment off the ice to get his hand attended to where he's fallen down there. So we have a bit interesting scenario here of two referees and one linesman as Mr. Olschak is getting himself attended to, but he's looking very earnestly at his hand down there on the Peterborough bench as play resumes.
Okay, well, we hope he's okay. He's getting some attention there from the Peterborough training staff. Griffin back on the puck for Leeds. Looking up ice from behind his own net, plays it to Witkowski on the near wing. Witkowski centres it for Hayward. Hayward comes through the centre and pushes it forward into the zone for Buesa to chase on the forecheck. And they have managed to get it back out from behind the Peterborough net. Witkowski now on a narrow angle feed to the centre, but numbers here for Peterborough as they come forward. Sladkowski takes a lane as the drop pass for Bjorkley Nordstrom. Oh, and Gospel dropped one, and Ferrara for a second had a good look, and then he didn't quite get a chance to pull the trigger on that one. He does now, but that was knocked away by the skate of Perret for Leeds. Peterborough back, regrouping. Bowering plays it up to centre. Bjorkley Nordstrom shoots. It was a good low shot. And we've got Sam Gospel here who's got a player stick as his stick has gone wandering. Howlett now shakes and bakes into the zone, turns around. Quick hands at the top of the circle. And Gospel has now made the switch. He's got his stick back at the other end, in case you were wondering. Baldwin shoots. That was blocked by Weldon, went up into the glass. So, yes, what was the story down there with Sam Gospel's stick? Did you see what happened?
It seems to have just sort of popped out his hand after he made that save on Bjorkley Nordstrom. A great kicking out his right pad. But somehow, just in the melee, just seemed to kind of like lose his stick. Was handed one by his defenseman. Then we've just seen the very odd sight out of our peripheral vision of him picking up one stick and then launching one back towards his own bench.
Here's Robson on the puck for Peterborough. Swings it across for Padalick. They can't quite chip it out of the zone, so now Douglas has to go to work against Brown. Brown recovers that puck, gets it up to the point for McMullen. McMullen knocks it straight back down. This is Howlett. Howlett opens up his legs, drops it for Baldwin. Baldwin just puts it back behind the net for Howlett. Peterborough have managed to clear the zone now, so Leeds go back, regroup. D-to-D pass. Little tap in by Brown. Barron now with the puck. Wide angle, shoots, gloved down, but not held by Marr. Now Hunt has got a bit of work to do to get Peterborough back in control, but he has. Padalek has got it. Padalek knocks one forward, which bounces off the end boards, and Gospel has to react as Mitchell King is swooping down towards his goal.
Yeah, nice sort of simple player there as well, though. Padalek, as we mentioned earlier, maybe not the fastest member of the Phantoms roster, but knowing that he's got Mitchell King racing up towards the net, rather than just putting it into the corner and repeating the same action, actually making Gospel have to think a little bit on his feet, bouncing off the end boards and putting some pressure on him.
So just a shade under 8 minutes remaining of this first period. Still waiting to see the opening goal here, and I would say Peterborough probably be quite happy with that situation.
I think they probably will be at the moment. The longer you can keep the Knights off the board is generally considered the better thing at the moment, but if they're going to let passes go loose like that, they're going to have a problem.
Endicott came forward with speed, and Foster came across the ice to lay the body on him. Leeds have retained possession, though, and Foster's going to have to go to work again against Neely. Good job from Foster, and he's going to get it all the way around, but not past Dylan Hare at the point for Leeds. Hare puts it back in for his forecheckers to try and sustain the pressure, and they are doing that. That's his brother Ethan Hare. Ethan Hare chops one out for Archer, and then Endicott, and Endicott didn't get what he wanted on that.
No, he just couldn't make very, very good contact of it. Ollie Endicott, a person who knows this rink very well, having been on a two-way with the Blaze this year, made Elite League appearances in this venue, but it's sat up for him right in front of the goal at the open end here at the Skydome, and he just missed the edge of the post. So
possibly the best chance we've seen so far, as Bjorkley Nordstrom at the Leeds blue line just taps one forward. Ferrara goes in, pressures that. So this does seem to be the combination here for Leeds. They've got their top three, Bjorkley Nordstrom. Oh, it's Witkowski now ready to shoot. Well done, Marr, had his pad down in position for that. But as I was saying, it's Bjorkley Nordstrom, Ferrara and Sladkowski, which you would say is without a doubt a stacked line for Peterborough.
Yeah, there's Hayward there wraps one off the pads of Marr on the wraparound there. Yeah, that's sort of been sort of the top end line, because
we've got one. No, scraped off the line.
No, Mr. Irons.
Mr. Irons. A replay perhaps of last night. Absolutely seems certain that did cross the line. There would be some irony in Peterborough complaining about this. They are questioning the goal judge right now.
Well, the goal judge, of course, all they signal is whether they think it's crossed the line. It's not their decision. That's very hard to tell from that immediate angle. Norton feels he's got it off the line. And now we have
close-up of
Lucas
Sladkowski.
That's a decent play on bid. Congrats to him.
Making his case to the goal judge, but the goal will stand.
Mr. Irons was quite close and at a relatively decent angle to that. He was really, really insistent that that's a goal, which is actually, as we mentioned last night, that's what you need in a situation like this. If there's any confusion as to whether you think that it's a goal or not, you want a clear signal from the officials.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so who are we crediting with that goal?
I genuinely not sure.
we were too busy trying to work out whether it was legitimate or not. We've missed who scored, but
traditionally in British hockey, if you didn't know, it'd be Tony Hand.
Well, it wasn't Tony Hand.
No,
it could have been, but it wasn't.
James Archer played for Tony Hand. Matt Hayward, then I think is who we're going to go for on that one.
See the second replay there. Okay, Hayward. We will let you know if that gets corrected, but our best guess is that Matt Hayward is the one who's broken the seal here for Leeds, and they are now, without doubt, 1-0 up against Phantoms team that has started the game well, but will now have to find a way to answer back. We've got a puck out of play here at neutral.
Yeah, it's just squirted out actually, sort of a stanchion height just at the end of the Leeds bench, so hopefully that's gone into the crowd, so hopefully everybody's okay.
Was the goal announced there?
It was announced as Matt Hayward, so we have it has been given to Hayward from Witkowski is the announcement on that goal, which, as we saw from the replay there, Hayward clearly the man with the last touch on that one. Thankfully, it was once we all got to look at it again, it was quite clear.
Douglas back to collect for Phantoms, knocks it across, and Leeds have turned it over with Ethan Hare. Puts it down, and now Griffin with a shot. That was blocked by Glossop, and Glossop sets the Phantoms winger loose. Now Glossop gets the puck himself, turning, but good strong body there from Perry. Here come Leeds. This is Endicott, is it? Yes, it is. Bjorkley Nordstrom did a good job to keep him from cutting inside. Endicott eventually does recover the puck and can get it into the Phantom zone. Bowering back to collect as both teams making changes. Play up to centre is tapped forward by Ferrara, but Neely can collect that without too much pressure and play it across for Hayward. Hayward cross-ice pass, just out of the reach of Buessa, so Thorpe comes in, bounces one off the boards. Buessa, though, gets it back at the Phantoms' blue line. Now Buessa looking to come inside, and he has been pulled down there, but there won't be a call. That was Thorpe, just hanging on to Buessa a little bit. Pass inside now, Bjorkley Nordstrom. Nice move, trying to get it back onto his forehand to get a decent shot on Gospel, but the defensive pressure didn't go away, and that prevented him from doing what he wanted to do.
That was some great work by Dylan Hare there to deny that opportunity as well.
Witkowski up to Hayward, and Buessa will probably put this back behind the net. He has managed to get it back there, but Bjorkley Nordstrom, who is showing some pretty good two-way play here, covering at the back as well as creating offensive threat.
Yeah, Brad Bowering complaining to the officials there. He thinks he's been hit with a high stick, but Mr. Irons quite close, not calling on that one.
Ferrara tried to strip the puck from McMullen, but McMullen managed to get it out of the zone. Phantoms tap it back forwards though, so Leeds will regroup with a lot of time here for McMullen to create a bit of movement, get the puck moving forward, which he does. Passes forward to Brown. Brown, long dump in. It's played off the boards by Marr, and then Leeds mishandle, and Phantoms should be away here. They are. It's Mitchell King. He hasn't got much support though. He's got Padlock behind him, and he's stood up competently by the Leeds defence. Comes over to the point where Buglas keeps it in. Now Leeds come out by playing off the glass, and Weldon has to come back and try and reassert control. Padlock now. Barron back checking on him, knocked the puck off his skate, and now here's Brown, and whenever he picks up the puck in a situation like that at neutral ice, the tempo raises, because we know that he can absolutely blow past people, and Howlett is doing exactly that. We're all the way through the middle, but the last stick just deprived him of that chance. We've got a penalty called here as Leeds have sent their goalie over to the bench.
Yeah, Buglas has just done slashed Howlett on his way through there, which again, maybe we talked about it a fair bit today, maybe a necessary penalty to kind of take. As you say, whenever Brown's on the puck like that, people's hearts kind of pop up into their mouths. Oh, Tom Norton's been called. Apologies. I thought it was I thought they were going to call Cam Buglas there, but not. But yeah, that's the issue though. If it's not Brown, it's Howlett. If it's not Howlett, it's Buesa. If it's not Buesa, it's Barron. It's just that, when they, as I said, the one thing Peterborough didn't want to do was allow Leeds to get up to speed, and you can't let Mac Howlett just walk through the middle of the ice like that. It's not going to end well.
There's real depth in this Leeds team, especially when it comes to attacking firepower, and they're using some of that depth now, because I think this is Innes Gallagher's first appearance in the final.
Yes, part of the Ayrshire Assault squad, as we can see the banner up above the Knights block. Him and Jordan Buesa given a nickname by the Knights fans.
Hayward brings forward, gains the zone, and they start setting things up with Buesa laying off for Witkowski. Witkowski, a very, very dangerous shooting option on this side, but it's Hayward who takes that shot. That was deflected by a stick. I think that was the stick of Cam Buglas. Now Mitchell King looks to try and turn the puck over for this penalty-killing unit, but he can't. It's over with Witkowski. Witkowski steps inside, shapes as if he will shoot, then passes up to the point for McMullen. McMullen gets one all the way through, but it went over the net. We've got another penalty here, high sticking penalty. Or is it contact with a high stick?
I think the call is contact with the high stick more than an actual high sticking penalty itself. I didn't see an arm go up for it.
Okay, so face-off will be at neutral. Linesman Olchak has returned to the ice from his injury, and we hope he's okay. He seems to be fine. Face-off pushed forward by Leeds, and now Howlett turning. Is it up to the point for Neely? Neely over to Brown. Brown puts it back in behind for Howlett. Now this is over with Barron. Barron will use the point with Neely. Neely hands off to Barron. Barron back up to Neely. Neely mishandles a little bit and then gets it over to Brown. Now Neely may shoot. No, he Tried to pass off, that hit a stick, but Leeds retained the puck. Barron across to Brown. Brown up to Neely. Patience from Leeds here. They do eventually pull the trigger. And that one went over the net. Neely will come to seal the puck in and then put it back down. Thorpe is going to clear the zone for Peterborough. There is 16 seconds left of this Leeds Knights power play. Neely bringing it forward, goes wide, looks to find a pass inside. That comes off a Peterborough stick and is on the back of the netting. So some half-hearted shoving between Neely and Robson.
not much intensive there.
No.
Sort of almost got willing each other to kind of get on with it, kind of thing. But as well, like Leeds will not want to kind of get suckered into making silly mistakes when it comes to that physicality. But at the same point, they've also got to be able to make sure that they can kind of stand up, because if they will allow the Phantoms to bully, particularly some of their smaller, more skilled guys, they're going to have a problem there. So it doesn't feel like much, but it can be very, very big in terms of making sure that your team is setting the tone they want to set.
Phantoms now back to full strength. Wesser looking for McMullen for Leeds. McMullen turns and then plays the one across for Baldwin, which was out of his reach. So here come the Phantoms with Foster and Glossop. Foster mishandling that puck initially, and then he recovers it and gets it down in the corner for Glossop. Glossop has to be strong as he's shadowed by McMullen. Sladkowski punches it back in behind the Leeds net. Foster on the forecheck. Lovely spin by Buessa to find himself space. But his pass was a loose one. It was ahead of Witkowski. Witkowski has now got the puck. No, it's come all the way through to Norton. And back with Norton now. Plays it up to Sladkowski, and Sladkowski tipped that in from the wrong side of centre. So whistle blows, and with 7.8 seconds remaining, there'll be what was, we think, presumably a final face-off in front of Jordan Marr's net.
Yeah, still enough time for something to happen there, though. Interesting shift there from Lucas Sladkowski as well. He's been a much more physical presence than usually when I've noticed him. He's been throwing the body around, you know, making big hits, getting quite stuck in, a few sticks off the play that I think some of the Leeds players are not appreciating from him.
Brown shoots one in. Mars gloved that one, and we will have a second face-off. 4.5 seconds remaining on the clock.
Nice standard, comfortable save there from Mars. Hopefully it will be the last one for him. He will hope that's the last one he has to make as Weldon comes out here, hopefully, from a Peterborough perspective, hopefully to win the draw and kill this one down.
Yeah, you can see his experience there, the way he wins that draw, using his body to protect the puck. So, quite a close period, all things considered. Leeds certainly not probably the better team on the balance of things, but certainly not blowing Peterborough away.
No, good patience though from the Knights as well. It'd be really, really easy to get frustrated, particularly as well where the game has been quite physical. There's been a lot of sort of off the puck play from both directions as well. Guys, you know, putting sticks in after the play. A few words have very, very clearly been said on the ice that we can see from up here. So Leeds will be happy, but Peterborough will also, I think, kind of be happy, given what happened to Swindon yesterday. We talked earlier in the day about having that puncher's chance. A goal down, 40 minutes to play. Peterborough still very much have their puncher's chance.
Well, it's been a fast and fiery first period, and you can guarantee there's still going to be plenty more action in this game like that. So join us right after this short break. Welcome back to the Skydome for the final of the NIHL National Division, where currently the Leeds Knights lead the Peterborough Phantoms 1-0. And gentlemen, it came out feisty, fast, furious, but most of all, a little bit favourable towards the Phantoms more than anything.
Well, certainly the Phantoms will be, as we said at the end of the first, the Phantoms will be pleased, won't they?
They definitely
to only
will
be
be
a goal down to Leeds.
So.
But the balance of play definitely belonged to Leeds.
Yeah, they've been the team that's had much more of the puck, much more of the attacking chances, which in some ways, like I said, that kind of falls into both teams' wheelhouses a little bit. The goal, of course, very, very scrappy. Arguments from Peterborough about whether it had fully crossed the line at the time, although Mr. Irons was insistent that it had.
So I can reveal, upon inspection, it's a clear goal. It's a clear goal.
You've looked closely at the replay. And this one we're calling is over.
It's 100% over. So
there you go, people. We heard it here first. The controversy is officially cancelled.
As much as the officials get criticism, they do a cracking job and they stick to their decisions, and you can't blame them for that.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ice hockey's a phenomenally difficult game for anyone to call.
It's very fast.
It's so
and very
fast,
quick.
isn't it? And that, you know.
And we said at the time as well, actually, the one thing we wanted was a clear signal. We got that at the time.
Absolutely. Now, we have the Phantoms in the red jerseys shooting right, and Leeds in the light blue and yellow trim shooting towards the left. Leeds 1-0 to the good in a period that was probably pleasingly low event for Peterborough. But Peterborough onto the attack now. Bjorkney Nordstrom, and look at the save here from Gospel.
Well, you and I were saying in the break that an early Phantoms goal would massively change the complexion of stuff there, but Sam Gospel absolutely showing why he is pretty much the undisputed #1 netminder in this division. Bjorkney Nordstrom just stepping into that shot one time, and Gospel giving him the glove and saying no thank you.
Absolutely, one for the highlight reel from Gospel, and we also said that Gospel hadn't had to make many challenging saves, but he's been tested early here. Now, McMullen trying to work the puck out for Leeds, and here comes Brown with speed. Oh, there was a little bit of a grab on there as well from the Phantoms defenseman that Brown appealed to the referee for, but he's not getting anything. Now, Leeds should be first to this puck, and they are. It's Brown turning. Gets it to the man beneath him and then receives it back. Turning away again. Bjorkney Nordstrom doing his best to keep Brown from the puck. Now Brown pins Bjorkney Nordstrom, goes back. We have seen a little bit of fire in the first period as well, haven't we?
Yeah, it was very, very bitty at times. Lots of hands in a... Oh, close chance there for the Knights. But yeah, lots of hands in faces, lots of physicality. It was Ferrara there grabbing onto Brown. He definitely wasn't happy about that. But I suppose if you slow him down and you don't get caught, then it doesn't count.
So Bjorkney Nordstrom and Norton pinning a Leeds player into the boards there. I think, is it Perry? No, it's Barron. And not much movement on this puck, but Barron has got it loose. But it falls to Phantom's stick. Bjorkney Nordstrom, all he can do is put it back in the corner. Barron gets it back and is instantly pinned by Norton. Matt Howlett is there in support for Barron, but the players just using their skates to keep the puck held in position, and Peterborough at the end of that sequence have just iced it.
Certainly not one of the things you generally expect as a tenement of the night's game, is that ability to kind of get into some of those ball battles. But actually, really, really solid stuff there, because again, I mean, they're the ones leading the hockey game, looking for ways to kind of, draw Peterborough. If nothing else, guys in the corner means space elsewhere.
Bjorkney Nordstrom's pass over to the far wing for Sladkowski, and Sladkowski's managed to get a step on Dylan Hare, but he can't retain the puck, and he ends up getting tangled up with Witkowski. Weldon now comes down. He's working hard behind the Leeds net. Dylan Hare, though, recovers the puck, plays a soft one, D to D to Neely. Neely's long pass up is for Hayward. Hayward off to Witkowski. Buesser's on the inside if he can find him. Mitchell King does well to come back and take away the centre of the ice from Leeds. Now Buesser behind the Phantoms goal, turns, pops one out in front, all the way to Neely. He's shot, and I didn't quite see what happened there, but that may well have been deflected into the traffic. Griffin now, he and Thorpe in a stick battle managed to raise the puck up into the netting. So a whistle and a face-off in the Phantom zone.
Well, if anybody deserves a goal off the back end of his performance this weekend, you wouldn't have argued with Bo Neely finding the net there, but he's fired into traffic like all good defensemen do, hoping that it'll rebound for something, anything, and make its way through, but instead it's edged its way just wide. But the Knights, having had that bit of pressure from the Phantoms very early on, are starting to turn it back up themselves.
Leeds have put a young line out here with Finn Braden and Innes Gallagher, but they're chasing the puck backwards into their zone with Griffin, and it's a giveaway to Glossop. But Glossop can't hold on to it, and now some good work from, is this Braden, I think?
Yeah, it's Finn Braden.
Yeah, it is, and he's lifted one into the zone, getting his legs moving. He's been sitting on the bench, I think, for most of the first. As far as I can tell, this is his first shift out. So now they've managed to get it to the net, where Endicott didn't quite have the space to generate a shot. Innes Gallagher goes back, lays the body on his man. Peterborough do clear the zone, though, so Griffin just waits so that he can time the dump in perfectly. Brown comes across, misses the puck though, and away come Peterborough. Here's Hunt, got Glossop on the inside if he looks. He drags and shoots, absolute pinpoint over the blocker, and Peterborough are off the mark.
Jarvis Hunt has done that. As a Basingstoke fan, I have cursed that man for doing that far too many times. But we can see here, it's just a quick break, a loose puck, and it's 2-on-2 as well. And Hunt backs himself as the defenseman the Peterborough man draws the defenseman across Gospel's line of sight. He uses the other man as a screen, picks the top corner. And we talked, well, early enough, a goal, I think, here for Peterborough,
yes,
where they have now tied this game. And it's that great young line as well, that Hunt-Foster-Glossop combination that's proven dividends.
So Peterborough scored in the first 4 minutes of the period, and Leeds, it's they've scored on that sixth shot, I think. So they haven't exactly been peppering Gospel's net, have they? But a shot like that, he has very little chance with, I think.
Yeah, with the sort of the flyby screen, as it were,
yeah,
and the man trapping down as well. So the only real place Gospel could see was kind of the back of a couple of people flying past him. But also for Hunt, there wasn't much net to aim at as well. It's a superb shot he's taken there.
Peterborough control off the draw. Buglas can't clear the zone. Brown now turning dangerously, goes with speed behind the Phantoms net. Dylan Hare, his shooting is deflected into the corner. Now Weldon is over one of the Leeds players here. Weldon trying to hold the puck against the boards, but Leeds bring it loose with Barron. Barron from a narrow angle shot in on Marr. Marr collapses on that one, and we get a whistle.
Yeah, Weldon held in the corner there. As people seem to sort of lose track a little bit of Barron there, as he seems to be able to walk around the back of the net without much of the way of anybody sort of stepping in to kind of do anything about it. But it wasn't the best of shots. Marr was tight to his net there.
We did see in our last game, didn't we, how teams, there can be a lapse in concentration often after a goal. You've had a long period where there hasn't been any action, and you've got to keep switched on after the penalty shot goal in the last game, wasn't there? Everyone suddenly went to sleep, but Phantoms have got to keep focused, as they do here with Bowering, knocking the puck up to centre for Sladkowski to bounce one off the boards for Bjork Nordstrom. Now Bowering, coming up from D, brings forward, but Leeds are back away in the other direction with Howlett. Howlett pushes wide, jams on the brakes, gets it up to the point for Neely. Neely snaps one in, that was deflected off the stick of Ferrara. It's now over with, I think this is Dylan Hare looking inside. Tried to lift one, and Bowering took away what room he had from that shot.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see here, because this is obviously Leeds are no strangers. All hockey teams go behind. It's the first time this weekend though where they've had a team on parity with them on the scoreboard. What's the response here to that as well? And especially like you said, the Phantoms' sixth at best seventh shot of the hockey game. And whereas Leeds have actually been peppering Jordan Marr, and he's been standing tall for the most part. Veteran
Matt Hayward wins the draw, and Ethan Hare pumps it back down below the net for Leeds to go to work with. Neely coming out, and Neely just mishandled that one. Bounced off his stick a little bit too quickly for him to get the shot on Marr. Now Bwesser turning. Bwesser up to the point for Neely. One-timer! That hit traffic. And now Hayward from a narrow angle. Phantoms try and clear it with a backhand off the glass, and we have a hand pass whistle. So Peterborough signalling that they like the face-off out in the neutral zone, and I think that's what they're going to get.
Yeah, Dylan Hare there, he's sort of battered it down, but instead of sort of putting it down to his own stick, it's immediately sort of fallen to his man, which has caused this particular stoppage in play there. I think that what I find is that the Knights, and they will not always come immediately at you full force. They'll kind of turn the screw, and gradually work their way through the gears, which actually is what they might have to do with the Peterborough side, so kind of intent on shutting down their space.
Padalick off the draw to his D-man, then Robson back over to Norton. Norton throws one forward. Beg your pardon, that's Buglas, not Norton. Now Weldon gets one, backhands it in for Padalick. Padalick receives that off the boards on his backhand, leaves it for Weldon. Weldon turning, kicks the puck forward. Peterborough still working it out here, but a good job by Perret to get his body in front of Mitchell King. That allows him to get the puck up to Howlett. A little bit of room for Howlett to work with, so he just backhands it softly in, goes in on the forecheck. Robson trying to put some control onto this puck for Phantoms, but Howlett strong on his stick. Keeping it pinned against the boards here, and we're going to have one of these other long spells of note. Leeds have broken it loose and straight out in front for Brown. That shot went wide. Now Leeds have lost it. No, they've lost it. They've got it back. Oh, they will get the zone clear now. And Buglas has flipped one all the way up for Padalecki. Padalecki, though, had to wait for the puck to come down, and that gave a chance for Howlett to come back and retain control for the Knights. Now, this is Bowering for the Phantoms. Plays one up to an open wing to Sladkowski. Look out. Here we go. Hayward, he's got Buesa, and he's slid it across, but Phantoms did a good job there, closing down that angle for the pass towards Buesa. Bowering comes back. His up ice pass, lofted into the air. And across ice for Bjorkley Nordstrom! And once again, Gospel beat on the blocker side. And it's the young man, Ivan Bjorkley Nordstrom, who's put the Phantoms ahead in this game.
Well, that out of nowhere, we talk so much about how quick Leeds moved the puck up the ice. Three touches of the puck, one in the corner, one in the neutral, onto the stick of Ivan Bjorkley Nordstrom. And the Phantoms, and we wondered where the goals were going to come from in the first period. We are less than 7 minutes into the second period, and Peterborough are in front in the playoff final. They say that good teams will find a way. Leeds have called their timeout.
So yeah, if we see down on the Leeds bench here, Ryan Aldridge giving some pretty passionate instruction to the Leeds players. Just down there, you can see him through the plexiglass on the stairwell. And Witkowski, Neely, Dylan Hare, Hayward and Buesa will be out for this draw. Yeah, you said that Leeds sometimes respond, not slowly, but you described it as turning the screw. Now they're a goal behind, you might feel there's going to be a bit of an urgent response, hopefully.
You assume so. And actually, what I found interesting as well from that timeout, there was no board coming out, no X's and O's from Ryan Aldridge. A reminder of that. They are the Leeds Knights, and they have got to the position that they are in because of who they are and how they've played. They don't need to give up. They don't need to make any big changes, but they do need to pay attention. We talked about lapses of concentration today.
Yeah, after a goal. They come in bunches, these goals. So keep a close eye on this game. Now, Neely over to Dylan Hare for Leeds. Leeds push one forward for Hayward to go in and chase. He's going to beat Bowering to this puck. Then he turns and looks up ice, feeds it up to the point for Hare. Hare shapes the shoot, but Hare misplayed it, and now away comes Foster. Foster fed inside for Glossop. That came off a skate though, and the Phantoms do have to come back and collect. They do so with Norton. He takes a pass from Marr. Glossop took that one off his skates, so Neely can collect the puck for Leeds. Norton stops the puck from crossing his blue line, backhands it forward for Foster to chase. Phantoms changing. Foster's lost an edge here, so Witkowski has got a bit of room to bring it up. His cross-ice pass for Buesa hopped over his stick, and Buglas did a good job just blocking the puck from entering the zone. Leeds got a man offside here, so they just need to get everyone on the right side of the blue. Phantoms coming across with Buglas, skating forward in his own zone. Little back heel attempt into the zone here. No icing. Here comes Brown, but Brown mishandled that and he had to catch up with the puck. Buglas, good strong stick though to stop Brown from pushing that puck inside towards Marr's net. Now we've got Howlett wheeling and dealing in the corner. Gets it up to Baldwin. Baldwin shooting chance. Bjorkley Nordstrom, strong block. He's been very impressive with his defensive skills. He's now scored a goal. Certainly one to watch out for. Number 5 on the Phantoms. Howlett now in the corner. He's under the close attention of a couple of Phantoms players, and the loose puck. Buglas gets it up to Ferrara. Ferrara over for Sladkowski. Sladkowski strangely flips the puck up to himself, then bodies Griffin away from the puck, plays it up to the point. Robson, oh, he's missed it, and now Howlett is clean, home and free if he can finish, but no, Marr with the save. Jordan Marr steps up big time when the Phantoms need him.
We talked about how many big saves he had to make in the first, and out of nowhere, Leeds, Matt Howlett of all people racing in, and just a blown play. Howlett in on the goalie, and a massive, massive save from Jordan Marr when you're 2-1 up.
Will Weldon back for the Phantoms. He's got to be quick to move this one as Leeds are pushing. Padalecki just backhands one into the Leeds zone. Mitchell King will go back to seal off the boards. I think that one just feathered into the net, so we have a whistle, a chance to get a deep breath for both of us. 10 minutes and 41 to play in the second.
Yeah, we can see the replay there, just coughed up at the blue line. Weldon's chasing back. He doesn't do an awful lot. Howlett was able to get a shot away quite cleanly, but it's really, really well read by Jordan Marr. Got himself pretty square to the shot. That's hit him high in the chest. Not the best of finishing attempts there from Mac Howlett. Unusual for him.
Long shoot in from the point. That one's safely handled by Gospel. We have another face-off to the left of, the right of Gospel's net.
Bit of noise there from the MK Lightning fans. Of course, it will. I wonder how they're picking who they cheer for in this game.
It's Endicott now bringing forward for Leeds. He lifts one up. Thorpe collecting for the Phantoms, swings it round, but Ethan Hare is there to cut out. Now Phantoms come back up. Dylan Hare intercepts in the neutral. Pops it forward for James Archer to go in and chase against Thorpe. Archer gets enough on the puck to get it to Endicott, to Hare, to McMullen. McMullen just floated one in, a soft, harmless one that went wide, but it allows Leeds to continue controlling the play in the Phantom zone. This is Archer. Archer flips it down below the goal line. The Phantoms change the direction on that one, and now Hunt has to go body to body against Archer. Phantoms do manage to clear it to the neutral, but it's Dylan Hare just to pop it straight back in, and the game at the moment very much being played in the Peterborough zone, but Leeds struggling to create the really high quality opportunities. Here come on the break the Phantoms, Sladkowski, and then a shot from out on the point, and Bowering has gone into Gospel. The arm is up. This will be a call here as soon as Norton touches the puck, and it's going to be goalie interference, I think.
I think Bowering's argument there is that Dylan Hare has put him into him. And it's somewhat unfair to call a man for interference when you push the man into your own netminder there, but I don't think there was quite as much contact as Mr. Bowering is arguing with on that particular occasion. I think he's been I think he's pretty much banked to rights on that one, from my opinion. There was maybe a hand on the back, but not to the extent of that he needed to make quite so much contact with the opposition's netminder.
So Leeds onto the power play. We saw them get 2 markers in their semi-final against Swindon. Both of those scored by Kieran Brown, who's out now. He's on this near side point, set up in a wide position. McMullen looks towards Brown, but then puts it back down. Now it is up with Brown. Brown shoots. That was handled by Marr, but then spilt out in front, and Haywood tried to chop it back in on the backhand. He's now up with Brown. He spins. Hands off to Howlett. Howlett down low to Barron. Back to Howlett. Back down now with Barron. Howlett. Up top to McMullen. Across to Brown. Over to McMullen. McMullen shoots one in. Marr saw that one coming through the traffic and just shepherded it into the corner. Phantoms get a hold of it and sling it all the way down onto Sam Gospel's net. McMullen back to get this power play entry going. Howlett just misread that. He thought McMullen was coming up with speed beneath him. They do retain the puck though with Brown driving wide behind Phantom's net. Looks for his passing options. Opts to try and get it across to Barron, but a stick in the lane there from Mitchell King means that they have to rework things. 50 seconds left on this Leeds power play. On the near boards, we have Haywood working it up for Neely. Neely walking the line, puts it down for Brown, and Brown just slung it immediately towards the high danger area. Marr managed to get something on that and pad it away. Whoa! Well, heads up, boys. That was Howlett and Neely. Didn't see each other coming. Now, here's Howlett, though. In the corner, up to Buesa on the point. Back down to the half boards for Howlett. Howlett shapes shot high and wide and up into the netting. And 13 seconds remaining on this Leeds power play that has looked okay, but hasn't quite generated the top level chance that they're looking for.
Well, you got your 2 guys running into each other in front of your own netminder. Aside from the fact it's we won't lie, it's a bit funny. But that's also a massively high dangerous thing when you think of some of those, if Bjork Nordstrom was there for that kind of thing, that'd be that'd be his meat and drink. But yeah, Leeds probably guilty here about thinking very hard and working very hard, but maybe just needs to start thinking and working a little bit smarter.
Well, they got a shot out here from Griffin, and Brown is doing his thing behind the Phantoms goal line. But the penalty's over, and it ends with Witkowski shooting a high one. And now a little shoving match between Buesa and Norton, as Buesa just got too close to the Phantoms crease. Norton takes exception.
Yeah, a few crosswords there. Will Weldon in there, of course, having part of the conversation, because of course he is. And it's his last game. Who's going to?
Well, he's not going to change now, is he?
No, exactly. What are they going to do? Suspend him?
Weldon's still got looking over his shoulder as he comes over to the bench beneath us here. But good job for the Phantoms killing that one off. They are ahead in this game. 27 minutes of action left for you here today. Chopping one into the Leeds zone. Baldwin going back to collect. Baldwin, one hand on his stick, gets it forward for... Oh, it's turned over to Padalek. Padalek had a shooting lane, but it closed down very quickly as Archer came across him. Leeds now push it forward. Robson turning. He's off his skates. But Phantoms do have control of the puck now. They bring forward. Nice job by Bowering. Onto the backhand. He's carried this 200 feet and then put it out in front for Sladkovsky. Good save, Gospel. Down beneath the net for Padlik. Padlik out front. Ferrara, beg your pardon. Changed onto the backhand, out for Sladkovsky. That didn't miss by much at all. And now Padlik on his knees tries to get the puck loose, but Leeds clear it all the way down. And we're going to get an icing call. So, bright little spell there for the Phantoms.
Yeah, just popping their heads above the parapet again and just reminding Leeds that they're still there. And actually, again, you do wonder sometimes about whether it's better for Peterborough to try and have these chances. It's all well and good inviting that pressure. It's a dangerous thing to do against Leeds. Leeds are going to struggle to score from their own end.
Now, Archer for Leeds. Brings it up across their head, but he has it chopped away from him, and then Bjorky Nordstrom briefly had the puck on his stick, and I think this one has been shot through the door of the Leeds bench as they were making a change, so we'll have a neutralised face-off here. Alice Padlick had a couple of goals in the semi-final, didn't he, that were plays in close, where you know, he was working with the puck down low, given a little bit of time and space. He looks like the kind of player who can make things happen in somewhat intricate situations. Yeah,
like we've joked already today, he's maybe not the fastest, but the hockey IQ and the hands are still very, very much there. And as you saw, even though he was a bit sort of higher up the ice at that point, James Archer saw that the puck was coming towards him and immediately shut that lane down to take the chance away.
Now McMullen from the point shoots one in. That was blocked by Bowering. And now it's back up with McMullen. Goes D to D across to Dylan Hare. Dylan Hare tried to shoot the puck in. That was blocked by Mitchell King. Brown working against Mitchell King here to try and dig something free for Leeds. Can't quite see the puck. It's hidden there in a little forest of skates. And this is a Phantoms game to a degree, isn't it? Just holding the puck in those positions. They do manage to get it loose now, and Bjorky Nordstrom just lost out on a stick battle with the Leeds defence. McMullen across to, is this Dylan Hare? Can't quite see the numbers on this, but his centering feed was behind Barron. And now it's up for Foster to chase down this one. Neely should beat him in the foot race. And Neely then swings it right across. That is to Dylan Hare. Dylan Hare let that go all the way up to Hayward. Hayward backhands one into the corner for Brown to get onto. Brown, Robson just turned the body away from Brown and let Brown check the plexiglass rather than him. Neely back for Leeds. Chops one forward for Witkowski. Witkowski with the wide dump in. Picked up by Buesa. Buesa protects the puck. Doesn't get it past the Phantoms defence though. And Phantoms now have broken it loose with Foster. Glossop skating hard to get to that central lane. But Buesa is back to break it up. Now Buesa tries to... Oh, well, Witkowski had to beat the referee there, the linesman. He couldn't quite dangle him. Now, Robson for the Phantoms, coming out from behind his own net. Ferrara let that one go through to Bjorky Nordstrom. And now across ice to Sladkovsky, and this is a dangerous line here for Peterborough. If they can make something happen, Bjorkley-Nordstrom, oh, sorry, Sladkowski, sorry, took a shot from a narrow angle. Now it's out in front for Ferrara. That was blocked by Lewis Baldwin, it was. Now, forward come Leeds. This is Brown. Brown managed to move the puck inside enough for Howlett to pick up, and then his central feed was deflected up into the air by Barron. Here's Norton, though, for Peterborough, moving it forwards. Just 3.5 minutes remaining of this second period, in which perhaps unexpectedly Peterborough Phantoms lead by a single goal. Long continuous spell of action here. We've not had a whistle for a while. Leeds working in the Phantom zone, but they have to come back out and regroup at neutral. Phantoms just doing a good job of kind of choking up a few Leeds attempts to move the puck forward.
Lots of sticks being put into place here by Peterborough, just not letting the puck settle. If you a team that passes this fast,
you see the way that they set up, a very defensive-minded setup. They're not chasing Leeds. They're letting Leeds come forward and then trying to break things up at their blue line. But Leeds are in the zone now, and that one actually was padded away by Marr. Just a few sticks waving up in the air. Endicott. Up to the point for Hare. Hare shooting into traffic, and the screen did the trick. I think it was Endicott in front, and there's absolutely no chance Jordan Marr could see that one.
Well, of all the names you think about who would get them back into this game, I don't think Dylan Hare will have been very high up on that list. But the puck just comes off of the half wall. It's put up to Hare, and everybody knows what's happening. The screen is in front, and as you say, there's Endicott in the way, blocks the sight of Jordan Marr, and it's that puck, I believe the phrase used yesterday was that puck has eyes. It only had eyes for the top corner in front of that Leeds Knights block behind Jordan Marr's goal.
So Leeds back on level terms. This is certainly shaping up to be a compelling final. You feel at this stage that it's no simple task to pick a winner. Leeds probably still favourites on balance, but very respectable performance here from Peterborough Phantoms.
Well, we said yesterday as well that the two semi-finals were two teams, where both of them had two teams who were kind of played similar-ish kind of styles, which has led to the styles clash that we kind of have today. And it's, you know, one philosophy of playing hockey against the other. And we're starting to see that bit of back and forth at the moment. On the scoreboard, at least, they're cancelling each other out. But we do need to have a winner at some point today.
So Jarvis Hunt's going to take this draw for the Phantoms. Foster lined up in the shooter's position behind him if he can pull it back. But he can't, and it's Bo Neely for Leeds. Swings it across for Witkowski to just angle it out of the zone. This is Sladkowski now for Peterborough. He just had to throw it to open ice as he was under a little bit of pressure there. Griffin waits for his colleagues to get onside and then throws one in. Buessa up to Neely. Oh, Neely's let it go. Sladkowski's got all the space in the world. Oh, and he makes no mistake. Beats Gospel on the blocker side.
3 goals for the Peterborough Phantoms, 3 goals in exactly the same place. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Well, the third time is the charm, if I can mix my metaphors. What a goal from Lukas Sladkowski. The puck comes back to Neely and it just bobbles over his stick, and Sladkowski is away to the races. Head up, stick down, fires and scores. No doubt about that one. What a goal. 2 really good goals, actually, if you think about that goal from Bjorkley-Nordstrom as well. The 2 big imports with the big shots, who've been very physical, probably been the 2 best players on the ice for Peterborough this afternoon so far, are making a difference on the scoreboard here. And again, that loss of concentration after a goal.
As we said, these goals, they come in bunches, so keep a close eye on the remaining minute and 40 seconds of this period. Leeds now back in their own zone, resetting things. They find themselves back a goal behind, and they're just pushing one forward here for Will Weldon to come and collect for Peterborough, but Weldon didn't get the kind of exit that he wanted there, and so Leeds are back and squeezing the puck in the near corner here. McMullen going to work. He's got it loose. Brown turns away from his checker, drops to one knee and then feeds it up to McMullen. McMullen looking for a shooting lane. He found one. It was tapped down by Howlett. It went behind the Phantoms net, and now it's in the skates of Barron. Barron didn't quite realise that he had the puck there, so that allowed Phantoms to clear the zone. Only a minute to play now. Weldon back in his own zone for the Phantoms. Goes across to Norton. Norton, cross-ice pass up to Mitchell King. Mitchell King slips the puck past, but he can't get his body around the Leeds defender. This is McMullen now. McMullen up to Hayward. Hayward, centering pass for Baldwin. Over to Brown, who just lets the backhand go into the Phantom zone. Brown takes one off his skates, steps inside. He's looking for a little backhand pass for Hayward there, and that's been scooped out, and we're going to have a delay of game call here against the Phantoms defenders.
Yeah, that's gone straight out. I think, unfortunately, as well, when you consider how well he's played today, that's Ivan Björklund-Nordstrom heading to the box for delay of game. Yep. You all know what you're trying to do in that situation. It's going off the glass and in a different direction away from your net, but it's gone straight into the netting.
It's a tricky one to call, isn't it? I mean, the call is obviously a clear call, but the puck sometimes can just flip up on you, and you think you're actually going to get a clean backhand out, and in the end you end up scooping it right up into the air.
And everything seems to bobbled on everybody in all ends of the ice over the course of this weekend.
Björklund-Nordstrom, as you said, he's worked hard in both directions, hasn't he? And he certainly took his goal well. So, so Phantoms have to kill off what would be this will be the third power play for Leeds. McMullen shooting in, so they got the read, haven't they, on shooting into traffic, which has caused it got them their last goal. And McMullen, Neely, we've got McMullen out here now, feeds up to Brown. Brown looks to go inside, his shot hit traffic and then has gone harmlessly into the corner, and it'll be cleared all the way down, and that is probably enough to see the period out. Sam Gospel just waits for the buzzer. So Leeds will have the advantage for 1 minute and 24 seconds when we return to the third, and they're going to need it because they are a goal down. They
are indeed, and like I say, it is. I don't think it's a shock to say to anybody, it is a bit of a surprise on this one that Leeds, considering especially as well how they played yesterday. You'd think that they would have been in a similar vein, but maybe the issue here is that the Phantoms are a bit more battle-tested this weekend and are much more prepared to kind of... they've been in the trenches once, so going in a second time is not going to be as much of a taxing task for them to do so.
Well, in a dominated period by the Phantoms, we've seen 5 goals. Can they withstand the pressure and crack the Leeds Knights and walk away with the title? Or will Leeds find something in the locker? You can find out as we join the action right after this short break. Welcome back to the Skydome for this, hopefully, the final 20 minutes to decide the NIHL National Champions. It's currently Leeds Knights 2, Peterborough Phantoms 3, and let's not forget, gentlemen, Leeds are on the power play. They were getting things going late in that period, which was predominantly dominated by the Phantoms.
Yeah, amazing job by the Phantoms to get themselves ahead in this game, Anthony.
Yeah, well, Peterborough did what Peterborough do really, really well. They're not always the great at kind of crafting chances themselves, but they are the masters of exploiting the errors of others. Point proven by that last goal that's got them ahead at the moment. The Lucas Sladkowski goal, just a little cough up on the blue line. Sladkowski on it and off to the races to beat Gospel, who has been weak on that blocker side tonight.
He has been beaten. They're all 3, I think, on the blocker side, weren't they? And all 3 were really, really clinical shots.
They've all been it's been high quality shooting chances, but that's what you need to beat Sam Gospel. It's interesting, isn't it? A lot of keepers, when they're very, very good, you say, oh, you need to get in close, you need to do the dirty work. But actually, with how Leeds' defence have played this weekend, that's not much of an option. So what they've had to do is had to resort to trying to just do high quality shots into small areas. But it's worked for Hunt, it's worked for Hunt. It's worked for Björklund-Nordstrom, it's worked for Sladkowski, and as we head into the final 20 minutes of the NIHL season, it's Peterborough who lead. Now, we think it's probably worth letting you know, guys, that there will be, at the 47-minute mark, there will be a show of respect and commemoration to the life of Adam Johnson, who, of course, you will no doubt know lost his life earlier this year in an Elite League game. Yeah, it's been a tough year for British hockey in terms of some of the people we lost. We think of Mike Hammond and Alex Graham in moments like this as well. Being in Coventry of the late great Dale Keane, of course, assistant coach of the Blaze here. Certainly the passing of Johnson was impactful because it was an on-ice event. And we're going to take a moment, as we did it individually as clubs and people, we'll do it together as a hockey community to end 2023-24.
Meanwhile, the puck has dropped on this final 20 minutes, or possibly not the final 20 minutes, of finals action. Leeds finding themselves a goal behind, but they are a man up for another minute and 10 seconds. Howlett gains the blue line, pushes one forward for Hayward. Hayward pins Robson against the board, and then Leeds trying to feed back to the point, can't cut it out, so McMullen and Brown will go back to reset things. This is McMullen carrying the puck. Carries through centre, he slows, and then he gets a little step once he sees that he's got easy access across the blue line. This is now Hayward behind the net, over to Barron. McMullen, over to Brown. Brown, down to Hayward. Up to McMullen. Shot into traffic, and that's has worked well for Leeds. The Dylan Hare goal that drew level for them. Now Brown cradling that one and trying to shoot it, but Buglas did a good job diving into the shooting lane. McMullen over to Brown, one-timer, and he completely missed the puck. Gets an ironic cheer from the crowd for that one. Brown over to the far side for Howlett. McMullen back down to Howlett. Good stick in the lane there from, I think, is that Mitchell King?
I believe it was Mitchell King, yeah. The idea was there, just the execution just kind of didn't come off. Passes were there, but Brown couldn't connect on shots. It was a decent power play for Leeds, just not an effective one.
So the Phantoms have killed off the fourth penalty that they've taken this game. So we're back to 5-on-5. Hayward turns it, tries to get it back down into the corner, but it's broken up. Sladkowski coming away, passes it over, now Sladkowski. Oh, well, he had it on his stick, but then he didn't. And so Witkowski brings it the other way for Leeds, drags and shoots. Didn't get through with power, though, so it was easy to pad away. Now Sladkowski, surrounded by 4 Knights defenders, just pushes one forward and then bowls over Bo Neely. Referee takes a good long look and does nothing. Ethan Hare moves forward for Witkowski. Witkowski taps that one off the glass. Thorpe going back for Phantoms. Brought away by Bradley Bowering. Bradley Bowering flips it over the head of Griffin. Griffin goes back, collects it in front of his net, and then plays it out to Buessa. Buessa stretches up to Barron. Barron closed down by Norton, and now Thorpe coming in to help out. Flips it up only as far as McMullen. McMullen goes round his man, and then threw it towards the net, and it's hit a skate and leapt up in the air. From the celebration, it looked like perhaps Buessa scored that. It may have come off a Phantoms defender's skate.
Yeah, it's a little hard to tell, certainly from our eyes up here. If we look at the replay, though, we see there where the puck is just kept in again at the line. McMullen gets the puck on net, and it's still quite hard to tell. But certainly Buesa is celebrating like he's done it. They've all gone, of course, to mob Noah McMullen, because he's the one who's done the hard jobs there. We'll have to wait to see what the referees have awarded that as. But another early goal in the period, tie game.
Mitchell King at neutral ice knocks one forward for Weldon. Weldon puts it in for Padlick to chase. He's bodied by McMullen. He now has his stick round McMullen. He needs to be careful because it's up near McMullen's head. Padlick, though, untangles himself and then goes to work against 2 Leeds defenders. They get it up to the point for Buglas. Buglas puts it straight back down where Mitchell King will come back and collect. Mitchell King feeds up to Buglas. Thorpe, looks like Phantoms had 4 men out there briefly. Thorpe shoots, and that was off a stick of Brown. He's gone up into the netting and plays whistle down.
Knights feeling, wondering whether that had gone straight out, but no, it's definitely taken reflection off a stick on the way through there, so it's going to be a face-off to the left of Sam Gospel.
Just under 4 minutes played of this opening period. Leeds back level after they initially led, and then Phantoms, in a fantastic second period performance, worked themselves back in front. Now Leeds, this is Neely. Over to Howlett, trying to find a way out of their own zone. Howlett will do so with speed, protects the puck, but he's had it stripped from him, and then he held the stick of Ferrara. Ferrara appealed to the referee, but nothing coming here. Hayward over the red line, cross-ice dumping. Witkowski onto pressure. Comes loose, though, for the Phantoms. They come back the other way. Bjorkley-Nordstrom's pass would have let Ferrara loose, but Leeds have broken that up. Here comes Hayward. Hayward handling, has been stripped to the puck by Bjorkley-Nordstrom. He winds up to take a shot and then takes a softer shot, and that was on a tight angle towards Gospel's goal, and Gospel just used his stick to pop it up into the netting.
Yeah, almost like you do wonder what would have happened there had Bjorkley Nordstrom. Certainly the initial intention there seems to be to just step in and give it a really big power drive, and then decided against it and put a softer shot on there, I think on the side where Gospel has been stronger.
He probably hoped that the faking the slap shot might have just frozen the defenseman and given him a little chance to just get around.
Well, the screens have been very, very effective tonight for both sides, so why not, as you say, use what you've got?
Griffin gets his body in a strong position to prevent Jasper Hunt from getting the puck, but now Foster has got it for the Phantoms. Foster turning one way and then the other, puts it up towards Bowering. Leeds came away with it for a second, but Phantoms just knock it straight back down into the Leeds zone. Both sides changing personnel here as we approach 5 minutes played. This third period. Boissa coming back into his own zone, swings one all the way around for Baldwin. Baldwin, a little bit of trouble handling that one, so as soon as it comes out the zone, it goes straight back in, off the stick of Bradley Bowering. Leeds completing their change now as McMullen comes out.
Peterborough completely static, 4 men in the neutral zone there.
Yeah, they don't chase that puck. They are protecting the neutral zone and their blue line particularly. So, but they do break with speed, and here's Mitchell King trying to get wide on Baldwin. Beg your pardon, Griffin with a pretty emphatic chop towards Mitchell King. Now Brown trying to find his way inside on Robson. Good job from Thorpe, and we've got an offside whistle here.
Yeah, Boyce has just been caught offside on the way there as Brown's gone on one of his trademark mazy runs in an attempt to sort of draw, potentially either to take the shot himself, back across himself, or to give Boyce the space to play into. But yeah, Boyce has just jumped the gun a little too early there.
So Hayward's going to contest this face-off against Ferrara, and Hayward wins that, the two veterans. Long shoot in from McMullen, collected by Robson. Robson ridden into the boards by Hayward. Now it's up at the point with McMullen. McMullen just managed to get it down, but only as far as Ferrara. Ferrara's attempt to clear the zone was a weak one, though. And now, shot into traffic, hit someone. And now Dylan Hare's got it over. Howlett shooting. Thorpe diving into the shooting lane. Up at the point with Dylan Hare. Shot into traffic, and Marr has got it, and he knows where it is. Now we've got a Leeds player diving in the direction of the Phantoms goalie.
Yeah, there was a whack there from the Knights player on Marr, and Scott Robson took immediate exception to that because Marr had sort of gathered the puck into himself within his glove and immediately made a point. I think it must have been Matt Hayward, judging by the last person out of that pile. But yes, Robson was not a happy boy with the actions there of the Knights, but until the referee says stop, I suppose you are allowed to go. So
face off it in the Phantom zone. Currently tied at 3-3, but Endicott tried to find a way to power that shot through, hit a body and went wide. Foster fails to clear it past McMullen. McMullen from his knees. Now Foster will get clear, but McMullen just controls the puck, spins and dumps it in. Archer is first to it. Archer on his backhand, one hand on the stick, then puts it back down for Ethan Hare. Go all the way around for Neely. Neely pumps it back down for Ethan Hare, and now Dylan Hare will pinch in to seal that one. Phantoms trying to get it out off the glass. Glossop throws a hit. It goes to the far corner where Endicott can't get it past the skates of Bouglas. Bouglas up to Foster. Foster moving forward. Good bit of stick work there from Neely though to frustrate Foster, and Leeds coming back the other way here. We'll go for a change. Endicott just flips one in.
It's really interesting to watch across the course of this game is that whenever Peterborough they try to put it out, they always get stuck at the blue line. When they walk out, they get it. At
the 47th minute of the game is a stirring moment as hockey fans of all teams come together here to stand and applaud in memory of Adam Johnson. A real show of community. Meanwhile, the play goes on as Phantoms gain the zone. Weldon shoots one, and that was blocked by Neely. Good diving attempt to keep the puck in. Leeds now bringing forward with Brown. Brown forced onto his backhand, and the puck just briefly escaped him. Bowering back to the Phantoms. Turning. Wants a bit of time to look up ice. Leeds change personnel. Yeah, fantastic show of solidarity and community there in honour of Adam Johnson.
Fantastic moment. It's why the hockey community is it stands together in its good and its bad moments, and a great weekend for our sport, taking a moment to just all come together for something that we never really wanted to, but we clearly all felt we had to.
Meanwhile, Robson in the corner is trying to protect the puck against Mac Howlett. Howlett's digging away. He's got Witkowski just up from him. Witkowski has been a little bit quiet this game, but he's the sort of player who could decide it.
It could turn on the sixpence. We've seen that shot of Witkowski. If he gets enough space, that's what Peterborough have been very good at as well. Forcing Kieran Brown to sort of go 1-on-3 through the middle as well. The guys who traditionally come in at speed, into the space, have not had the space, and therefore it's very hard to be effective.
Meanwhile, Sladkowski ran into a bit of trouble. Now it is Witkowski taking it out from behind the Phantoms net on his backhand. He spun, shot it towards the goal. That hit a stick. Now Hayward brings it up to the point. McMullen shakes one way and then the other, shot into traffic. Phantoms can just chop that one out, only as far as Baldwin. To McMullen, over to Witkowski. Witkowski just handles it nicely, but then he put Baldwin under a little bit of pressure. Witkowski hesitates again, plays it forward, finds the pass for Howlett. Howlett forced out of the zone, so he's going to have to cycle back. Dylan Hare gets to the red line, pushes it all the way forward onto Marr, and Marr decides that he doesn't like the sight of Ethan Hare skating towards him, so chooses to freeze the puck. 10 minutes and 19 seconds left in this final period. Yeah, look, just bobbled up a little bit on Jordan Marr, and he had to take the decision very quickly there to just cover it and just be safe rather than sorry, because, as you say, he had somebody bearing down on him relatively quickly, and he just, with the score tied at this point in the game, the one thing you don't want to do is make a silly error. Face-off win from Barron came back to Buessa. His shot came off a leg, and now Phantoms bring it forward. Chipping up into the zone was Padalek. Or, beg your pardon, it could have been Foster. Now we come back the other way. This is Barron. He's going to be first to this dump-in. Pinned to the boards by Thorpe. And now Hunt. Bumped one off the boards for Mitchell King. Mitchell King couldn't control it, though, so Neely over to Brown. Back to Neely. Neely, cross ice to Barron. Barron flips one in towards Marr, and Marr's going to let that roll into his glove and get the whistle. Well, yeah, Kieran Brown skating on him at that point, so you're definitely not going to let that one go loose, as it were. It's all become a little bit tentative feeling at the moment. Like both sides are starting to head in that place where you're scared to make a mistake. But actually, if you want to win the game, you have to do something to win the game. You can't just cancel each other out. I don't think either of these sides really wants to go to penalty shots if they can avoid it. No, and you'd think least of all the Peterborough. They've got their 9.5 minutes to make something happen, because I fear Leeds at 3-on-3. Mind you, it's anyone's game, isn't it? And then we've got a whistle here. It's somewhat loose puck, and Marr is protecting his head as there's a horrible crowd around him. He rolls over, gets to his feet. Yeah, there's a tiny bit of goalie acrobatics there, but yes, he was down on his stomach, stick out of his hand, blocker and glove over the puck there, as a few people still thought they could possibly see it as they poked away. And the Milton Keynes fans have reminded everyone that they're still here, and that gets a round of boos from just about every other corner of the arena. Yes, meanwhile, Weldon on the draw for Phantoms has done a good job keeping it into his skates here. Leeds eventually do come away with it, though, and Witkowski throws it to the far side for Griffin. Griffin will backhand it back down for Hayward. Hayward let it run for Howlett. Howlett lifted the stick on Norton, but Norton, good strong play to get it up. And now here comes Mitchell King. Mitchell King trying to get wide on Baldwin. Baldwin's lost his stick and Mitchell King's taken a tumble. I can see the referee's arm has stayed down. Witkowski plays it up. This is Howlett. Howlett, skating through a maze of players, eventually finds his way all the way to the end boards, where he's bodied by Bowering. Bowering gets the puck loose, and Bjorkley Nordstrom now carries forward. Bjorkley Nordstrom knocks it forward to himself. and then goes to the far corner, and one out in front for Sladkowski. He had to take that one-handed and then didn't have quite enough time to shape up for the shot. But you get the feeling that Phantoms are not going to get many looks this period, and they have to make whatever they get count.
What I'm interested in here is moments like this as well, where loose play, pucks bobbling around. This doesn't favour Leeds.
No. Thorpe pumps that puck back into the Leeds zone. Dylan Hare gone back to collect. Crosses it over to McMullen. McMullen up to Ethan Hare in the centre lane. Over to Bwessa. Bwessa chips one forward for Ethan Hare to chase. He gets it over to his brother, Dylan. And a bit of extra help from Bwessa trying to keep the puck in. Away come Phantoms though. Beg your pardon, that's James Archer out here with Ethan Hare. Dylan Hare. Up to Ethan. Weldon trying to squeeze the puck in for the Phantoms. Glossop aggressively goes down and puts the body on his man. Puck gloved down by Buglas. Buglas with it again. Just puts his body the right side of the puck, plays it over, gets it back. Up to Weldon. Weldon will just let that one tap forward. We've got 7 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. Bowering putting one down low for Mitchell King, trying to protect the puck against Griffin. Weldon there in support. Final moments of his fantastic long career. Lifting the stick, but just overpowered by the Leeds player there. Leeds, though, have iced the puck. So with just less than 7 minutes left to play, Phantoms are able to change their personnel and get a fresh start in the Leeds zone.
And Mr. Olschak comes across and politely reminds Ethan Hare and James Archer that their presence is required back on the ice there. Yeah, as you said about Will Weldon, yeah, the end of an illustrious career, a fair few trophies won, and what's he doing at the death? Still getting stuck in, as if he was going to play for another 10 years.
Which he maybe could, maybe not 10, but you feel like, you know, as I saw in the interview with him, sometimes life gets in the way of hockey. It's the way things are. Bjorkley Nordstrom, meanwhile, has tried to get a shot through. That hasn't paid off though, so Witkowski just knocks it back, but slight miscommunication has allowed Ferrara to flash a shot in front of Gospel's net. Bowering on the far side collects, shapes, beats his man, comes inside. Well, he beat two, but he couldn't beat the third. We have a whistle now.
Penalty's been called by Mr. Ions here at the back.
For the hook.
Who is that going? Is it Hayward?
It's Hayward going. So good job there, nice bit of skating to draw the penalty. Hayward to the bench. This will be Peterborough's second power play. Didn't get anything on the first. And as we said in the semi-final, the special teams haven't been the sharpest this year in the regular season.
No, second power play now as well for the look of it for Peterborough. Weldon with Padalek and Glossop. Not who you normally expect to be on the ice straight away for such things, but obviously making leads.
You see Bjorkley Nordstrom and Ferrara there receiving instructions from Slava Kulikov. We expect to see them as soon as they can possibly be put out. Presumably with Sladkowski as well. Meanwhile, Weldon has worked it round to Padalek. Padalek just patiently holding it, looking for a play. Thought about sourcing it across to Bowering, but instead he goes for Weldon behind the net. Leeds just letting Peterborough hold the puck in dead areas here. Out front for Bowering, and then there was a stick in the lane. Good defensive play there from Barron to break up that attempt. It's his patient stuff, but Weldon's pass round was, good job to keep a hold of this. Now Padalek fakes a shot, takes it wide, and then shot, and McMullen, fantastic job to get off his feet and remain in the shooting lane to block the chance. Now Bowering takes that off his skates, puts it down to Weldon. Weldon backhanded it inside for Padalek, and Padalek with a deft little touch. Now we've got Ferrara and Bjorkley Nordstrom are out, but they're going to have to come back and collect the puck, and they will only have 35 seconds left to play with. It's a quick up all the way for Bjorkley Nordstrom. He faked that shot, and that's allowed Leeds to come back with it. Now Bwessa with speed. Bwessa's left the puck behind him though, and Bjorkley Nordstrom comes back to collect. 20 seconds on the clock in this power play. 4 minutes 40 remaining to break the deadlock before this game heads into overtime.
It's been a pretty good power play, all things considered, when you think that second unit got so much time. It was really effective. Connor Glossop standing strong in front of the net.
Oh, Sladkowski across to Bjorkley Nordstrom, and he just didn't get what he wanted on that one-timer. They flip it forward now. Now Howlett, as Leeds come back to full strength with a nice little move, and Howlett trying to sell one there, I think. And the referee's not buying it. Now Ferrara coming forward for Phantoms. Drives wide, can't get what he wants on the shot. It comes away to Sladkowski. Sladkowski puts it back down behind for Mitchell King to chase, but Leeds will come away with this calmly. Move it up to Howlett. Linesman just jumps over the puck here as Howlett brings forward with Hayward. Howlett tried to shoot, and that's jumped up into the face of Thorpe. And Thorpe is injured here, but play continues. Brown has it in the corner. Thorpe is back in the play now, but he's clutching his face. He's clearly in some distress. McMullen turning on the puck. Knocks it down behind the net for Hayward. Hayward feed out in front. Just evaded McMullen. Ethan Hare now. Leeds looking dangerous. Brown feeds inside, and that's just popped up into the pads of Marr. And Marr will hold it, and Thorpe will no doubt go and get some attention for his face as everyone's falling over each other to...
When you think as well how many diving blocks today that Thorpe has made, and where does the puck hit him in the face when he's standing still? Nice little bit of irony about that. But yeah, 3:35 left in this game. It's going to be... We are really into the game of fine margins as Peterborough call their timeout.
So you see the Peterborough players gathering around Slava Kudakov at the bench. Will it be Will Weldon who leads this?
I suppose the question here for Peterborough is, what is that conversation here? Because ultimately, there's, do you want to push in moments like this, or is this keeping calm? Ryan Aldrich, we can see, is drawing plays up on the board where he wasn't when Leeds called their timeout in the second period. Whereas it seems to be a very kind of similar timeout for Peterborough to what Leeds called earlier in this game. This is a reminder of what we're doing and why we're doing it and how we're doing it, more than being specific on who's going where in this instance.
So the players reassemble in the Phantom zone to the left of Jordan Marr's goal. Barron will contest this face-off, and who else would you want out but Weldon? Weldon, though, didn't win the face-off, but Leeds, just a slight miscommunication, enabled the puck to escape out behind Baldwin. Leeds bring it back quickly, though, with Barron. Cross-ice dumping. Plays it over for Buesser. Buesser chasing, cut out by Martin, but the puck comes loose to Barron, and Barron threw one right the way through the crease, and it's gone all the way out of the zone. McMullen picks it up, plays it up to Baldwin. Brown will just let that one go in for Barron to chase. Norton had the puck jump over his stick, and that's allowing Barron and Brown to just pin it behind the Phantoms' goal. 3 minutes now on the clock. Some sticks in the air, just need to get that stick out of the arms of Brown. Witkowski waiting on the periphery to pick up the puck. Phantoms keeping the puck just jammed against the boards here. This has been 20 seconds at least of the puck not moving, and sooner or later the referee will blow the whistle. But now Witkowski has got it loose. He gets it up to the point for Griffin. Griffin over to Bo Neely, but Neely couldn't really get the clean shot that he wanted. Now this is Witkowski. Witkowski just fed that one towards the net, hit the side netting. Neely will go back and collect. Leeds try to settle the puck down so that they can use it with Griffin. Griffin fed that one in. Norton bringing it out, and Phantoms, after what seems like a fair amount of time, do manage to get it out of their zone. But Witkowski brings it straight back in with speed. Now here's Buglas. He's stripped Witkowski. Sladkowski had to get off his knees to get that. He's backhanded it in on Gospel. Gospel will freeze the puck. Now less than 2 minutes to play. Oh.
Well, Sladkowski there looked up, was slamming his stick on the ice, calling for the puck, and then unfortunately immediately blew an edge. Because if he caught that and he managed to keep on his feet, he'd have been pretty much heads down, full speed ahead towards the net, right up the middle channel with not many people around him. But where he fell down, it meant that the Knights' defence had a chance to get back around and put some pressure on him.
It's edge of your seat stuff here, and it's been an absolutely fantastic game and a really fitting final. Someone is going to try and steal it in 1 minute and 40 seconds, and that someone could be Leeds here with Witkowski. He has the puck in the corner. Weldon is now shepherding Witkowski, and Ferrara was there. Very timely interception to stop Hayward from playing it. Witkowski gloves it down to himself. The puck, though, is bouncing, so he can't do much with it. And now Thorpe has kicked it clear of the zone. And Phantom's getting all bodies behind the puck here to keep Leeds at bay. Leeds pushing back, though, with a long dump in. Hunt lost out on a stick battle to Buessa, but Bowering, spinning, manages to knock it to the side. Howlett atop of the circles, fed in, save Marr. That was a tricky one. It came out of a cloud of bodies. Now Ferrara tries to pinch one at centre ice, but Leeds back in control. We're under a minute left to play here. Next goal, surely the winner, if we can have one. That, or it is overtime. Loose puck, pounced on at centre by the Phantoms. This is Hunt. Hunt backhands one down. Glossop's pass loose to Brown. Brown across to Buessa. Buessa back inside, cut out by Glossop. Glossop eventually clears the zone. Peterborough trying to get bodies up into the attack, but back comes Brown the other way. Brown inside, looking for a drag move. It didn't pull off. Brown on his backhand, spins it round to Barron. Under the close attention from Robson. Less than 20 seconds on the clock now. Glossop looks up ice. Manages to get it out at the point, and now Foster can push up on it. He's got Padalek on the middle if he can find him. He can only ring it round. We're under 10 seconds now. And it looks like this one is going to go to overtime as Padalek squeezes the puck against the boards. And it's going to take 5 minutes of 3-on-3 action, or possibly even a shootout, to separate these two teams.
But you think on the balance of how these two sides have played this one out, the fact we get 5 extra minutes of what has been a really interesting tie. Like I said, it's been a clash of philosophies and a clash of styles, and it's taken, after 60 minutes, they haven't had an answer for each other in the main. And now, like you said, just under a minute to go, the next goal surely wins it. Well, now we know for a fact, if we get a next goal, the next goal does win it.
Well, yeah, you've nailed it there, Anthony. We couldn't have called this result at the start of this game. Form book, the season, the way they've both qualified to get into tonight, read completely different. Phantoms have come in here, ripped up the script and put their mark on today, and fair play to them. You know, whether they're doing it for Weldon as a farewell tour, but either way, they've come out and they've given us a game and a half. I think the Leeds fans have given them a lot of respect as well, and they'll gain a lot of respect off the league for this result as well. But gentlemen, this is it now. If you had to put your house on it, we're in Vegas, red or black, or blue or red, as I should say.
Well, you've still got to like Leeds, I think, but it's a fool's game making predictions. Overtime can go either way.
Yeah, especially as well where we've seen that Peterborough have managed to exploit the space that's appeared to them, although you wouldn't want to bet against Leeds with all of this extra space. Peterborough didn't beat Leeds during the regular season. We talked about it before the game. It took Peterborough until April in the playoff round robin to get a win over the Knights in the shootout.
And it was a shootout victory, wasn't it? Yeah.
And are they about to beat them for the second time in a month, having lost 5 in a row?
So possibly a sense of deja vu for the players here as Ferrara, Sladkowski and Norton line up. And Sladkowski immediately tries to come away with it, but good job by McMullen. McMullen trying to beat 2 here as Ferrara squeezes on him. And then Barron up to Brown. Brown one-on-one with Norton, dangles one way and dangles the other, but Norton did not take his eyes off the centre of gravity for Brown's body. He refused to be bewitched by the puck movement. Brown on the puck, out the top of the circles. Opts to take it out of the zone so that they can reset something, possibly with a bit more movement. Brown turns inside to the centre. Hayward just come onto the ice, lays it off for Barron, shoots, and it came off Marr's mask, and it's now loose, and then, Barron tried to backhand it into the open net. Marr just waiting for the right time to pick up his stick. This is Bjorkley Nordstrom moving it forward for Peterborough. He hasn't got support though, so he puts the brakes on. Now he'll come out of the zone, gets it up to Mitchell King. They're out here with Buglas, who scored the controversial winning goal in overtime in the semi-final against Telford. Mitchell King over to Buglas. Buglas turning in his own zone, looking for a stick. He's found Mitchell King's. Mitchell King tries to get on the outside. He'll now feed that over to Buglas. Shooting opportunity, but Buglas shot over the puck. Buglas now has to turn back up the half-boards. He's going to bring it right back out. Pass it back up to Mitchell King. Minute and a half gone here. Best chance of the 3-on-3 has gone to Leeds. Douglas brings forward, thinks better of it, moves back. Drops it off for Sladkowski. Sladkowski gets the jets on, shoots, that hits Brown's skate, pops into the far boards. Bowering holds it in. Bowering on his knees now, which is, he needs to get up quick because it only takes a second for things to change, and here it has. Witkowski's got Brown, he tried to find him with the pass, and then the loose puck, he just shot from an impossible angle. That bounces off the boards, comes out. McMullen resetting.
The first real big chance there in this overtime.
Here comes Brown, going wide on Ferrara. Is he going to try and wrap it? He is, but it's sealed off by Jordan Marr. So nearly half of the overtime gone. A couple of good looks for Leeds.
Well, Brown had a really good look there. I mean, you know, you can't blame Kieran Brown for trying to go himself there, but he had Matt Barron as an option there who looked relatively open, but maybe down at ice level he wasn't quite as open as he might have looked to us up here.
Is it not a little bit deja vu, gentlemen? Did not Kieran Brown get the game winner in overtime for Leeds last year?
Yes. Searching my memory banks here.
They won in regulation last year, but he did get the game winner, I believe, in both games.
It was.
Here we go, Barron.
Can you do
Flips one forward for Hayward. Sticked away by Marr. Now Ferrara just has to pull it inside. Ferrara gets it back. He's got a lot of open ice here. He's got Mitchell King on the far side. He goes shot, and I think it hit something and didn't come through with the force that he intended.
Ferrara, they're going for that blocker side shot again. That's worked so well for the Phantoms today.
Norton back to collect. 2 minutes on the clock. Norton waits. Plays it up to Ferrara. Ferrara brings inside, navigates it past Mitchell King, then goes on to the backhand, brings inside. Oh, save Gospel. Everyone's taken a spill. The puck is loose, and it's out to Ferrara, and he couldn't finish it.
That's superb. That is game-saving by Mac Howlett right there. There's a penalty on the play. The Phantoms have been called.
Oh, you had at least 2 or 3 of the players were looking at the referee there.
Well, everyone was in a big pile on the floor.
Gospel's come to the bench. The whistle has blown. We've got a hooking call here against who, I'm not too sure. Will Weldon is going to go over and argue the toss with the referees, but nothing.
Brace was shouting as well for Gospel to get off the ice, and McMullen just plays the puck towards the Phantoms so that they can play it. Clear a bit of a disagreement as to the best way to do it. I think Boesa felt that with the extra man on the ice, 4 on 3, with all that space, they could have done something with it. As Austin Mitchell King is going to take a sit down.
King protests, but it will be 4-3. 4 men on 3 here, as Leeds have got Hayward, Brown, Barron and Howlett out. 4 forwards. And the referee goes to clarify something. Will Weldon, as you might expect, possibly the final few minutes of his career, is out on this crucial draw against Hayward. 2 men with an awful lot of hockey experience, and Hayward wins it, but he wins it so cleanly it comes all the way out. So this power play will outlast the overtime period unless Leeds can score. Howlett up to Barron. Barron over to Brown. Brown fakes shot, and then he does, and Douglas blocked it, and it's now in tight on Marr, and Marr has grabbed it, and Hayward battling around Marr. Marr looks like he's slow getting up here. He's taken a bump. Weldon clearly giving his opinion on the matter.
It's a very earnest discussion there. I think Marr staying down, I think, more just to kind of make sure everything was clear of him rather as much as anything else there. But yeah, certainly Matt Hayward has made no secrets. Him and Jordan Boyce today have been incredibly physical. And it's one part of their game that you maybe don't necessarily take into account, but the pair of them over the course of this weekend have really put the body about.
We're going to have to reset this draw here. Once again, it's Weldon and Hayward. Absolutely vital draw, this. Hayward is the winner. Gets it over to Howlett, down to Barron. Barron back up to Howlett. Howlett over to Brown. Shaped like he wanted the one-timer. So instead he'll put it back over to Howlett. Now Brown up high in the zone looking for a shooting lane. Back down to Howlett. Howlett tried to shoot. Great job blocking that there from Thorpe. Leeds with it behind the net. 35 seconds left to play. Hayward up to Brown. Brown over to Howlett. Barron bounces one off the boards to Howlett. Over to Brown for the one-timer. He opted to play a change-up. He played it a slow one. Phantoms have cleared the zone. 15 seconds left to play. It's got to happen now if it's going to happen at all. Barron up to Brown. Brown across to Howlett. Stick in the lane. 7 seconds. He's got enough time. It's Bowering moving forward. He's got Thorpe in the middle. He goes past. Oh, Thorpe missed it. And now it's back out, but Gospel's got it. That's the buzzer. And what a finish. Oh, my word. Game on his stick. It was...
And of all the people as well, Billy Thorpe, the defenseman, racing from the back. You think of everything that Thorpe has done at the other end today. He's almost been a submarine captain, the amount he's been diving to get in the way of shots. He had it. It was there for him, the way to send Will Weldon off into the sunset in a perfect fashion, and it skips wide. Penalty shots to end the 2023-24 season.
Leeds completely switched off. Did they think they had? Did they think the buzzer was going sooner than it did? I don't know. But
I think it was, again, that it's symptomatic of Peterborough's game that they've not given up about putting stick in the lane, because you don't know what good things will happen.
Don't forget, gentlemen, we have got Mitchell King, who was sitting the penalty during that extra time, which now means he's not eligible for this shootout. Is that going to be damaging to the Phantoms? We don't know.
I would have thought he potentially could have been one of their players to take a shot. He's sitting over in the box. So it's five shots each, and then if that doesn't settle it, it goes into rounds of sudden death.
That's indeed, and then they will swap as well. So whoever went first in the five will then go second. If I remember the rules correctly.
Yep.
At the end of a long weekend, everything is loaded. Everything is buffering slightly, shall we say, as the two captains come across.
Well, I didn't have it down for this shootout. You spoke about putting a rizzle of paper between teams earlier. I think you can now say that about these two. Phantoms certainly got the measure of Leeds in the end. Do you think they pulled Leeds down to play their hockey?
I think Peterborough will probably argue it's not a case of pulling down. It's, but certainly today the big issue for Leeds has been that been made to play Peterborough hockey here. Kieran Brown, Matt Howlett, yes, guys have had speed, but they've been skating into 3-4 skaters. That's not how Leeds want to play. They want to move the puck around, but it's a testament to the dedication of the Phantoms players. It's been bodies all over the show to do it.
First up to shoot will be the Phantoms. Bjorkley Nordstrom, this young man early in his senior career, comes straight up the middle, stick handling quickly, and he snapped it straight into the glove of Gospel. Gospel with a little bit of flash on that one.
Big save, really, really nice one as well, and a big confidence one as well for Sam Gospel, when you think as well that it's the big hard shots coming from outside that have beaten him on the blocker side, flashes the glove to deny Bjorkley Nordstrom as we start the shootout.
There's Jake Witkowski out now for Leeds. Looks like he's going to take a slow one. Takes it wide a little bit. Frames to shoot, and he does, but it's blocked away by Marr.
Yeah, the idea was there. I'm not sure how much of the blocker from my angle that Marr got on it, but I think he might have gotten something on it there. But either way, 0-0.
Next out to shoot, a local hero, the veteran Peterborough boy, Luke Ferrara. Again, takes it slow, brings it out wide, onto the backhand, onto the forehand, trying to settle the puck down. Oh, and he hit the post. Well, he did well to wait for the puck to settle down because it popped up on him. And then he took a quick shot that beat Gospel but couldn't beat the post.
Oh, a hell of a shot as well in a rink where he scored so many goals in the Elite League.
Out we have Kieran Brown. Here comes Kieran Brown. Takes it wide, snaps one, short side wide.
Yes, surprising he couldn't even put that one on net, but you've seen what he's tried to do. He's tried to come and draw Marr a bit more central and put it top corner.
Okay, there's a delay in play while an issue is being attended to in the crowd in the Leeds Knights end. Sladkowski will be next up to shoot for the Phantoms. And an odd break in the tension in the atmosphere here. We see the Phantoms players down below us, all with their arms around each other's shoulders. just waiting for the all clear so that we can proceed. The referee calmly explains to both benches that there is something, and obviously we just hope that everyone will be okay.
So at this time, we have incident being dealt with by the in-house medical team.
So those of you watching at home, I understand this is a bit of a strange moment, but the play has been stopped, as we said, to attend to an issue in the crowd. And there's some medical attention being given to someone over in the end to our left here. We're just waiting for the all clear and hoping that all will be well. Leeds players just taking to the ice, so a little escape. Ripple of applause comes round the stadium.
The Leeds are going, I think, to the locker room.
They are.
Yeah, they're asking for the doors to be open, so quite rightly, in fairness, there's a mark of respect leaving the ice at the moment.
They're just hesitating now. There's some movement in that area, so I think someone is being helped from the stands here.
And
so
they are being asked to return.
We've got the stewards and medics in attendance, and we anticipate that this is being dealt with all in the right way. Leeds.
Again, this just emphasises how close and in unity the hockey community are and can be in times of need. It was a lovely tribute earlier on that we saw to Adam Johnson, and again, the hockey community closing in on one another, surrounding and supporting them, and just respecting the current situation. So up until this point, gentlemen, again we've mentioned it, possibly nobody had in the books, and if in earnesty, probably the only decent way to settle a final.
Well, that's an opinion that some would agree with and some not, I think.
I think most players I've met would probably disagree with that assertion, and most guys I speak to would much rather have sort of extended overtime in this kind of circumstance, but the eccentricities of the game in this country, this is what we have. As thankfully the fantastic medical and steward staff here at the Skydome have addressed the situation in the end to our left, and thankfully, hopefully, that person will be okay. And eventually Lucas Studkowski, who was very, very patiently waited down by the Peterborough bench, will get his opportunity to shoot. So
a very, very unusual situation here from the players' perspective. Just a quick recap. This game is poised on a knife edge. We're in the shootout. Neither team has managed to score yet. We've just seen Kieran Brown flash his shot wide of Jordan Maher's net. Lucas Sladkowski next up for the Phantoms. He looks intensely focused over on this near side close to us. He's going to take a fairly oblique angle towards the puck here by the looks of things. And here it comes. Sladkowski skates up, collects, goes wide on the right side, looks inside and then shoots, and the puck stood up on him, I'm fairly sure. So, once again...
I think what Sladkowski's done there, as he said to Gospel, I beat you once, I beat you again. I wondered how much of a blocker actually Gospel got on that. He anticipated what he'd try.
Now, quickly, it's Howlett. Howlett up quickly to take his shot, and he shot wide. So, right back in this, neither team able yet to finish a shot. We've had 3 on each side, and as we said, this will go into an indefinite sudden death rounds of penalty shots after this. Alice Padalick up next for the Phantoms. Padalick collects, gets his head up, takes a look. Oh, tried to shoot the glove side, but he shot it clean over. And we haven't seen any players really attempting to dangle the puck yet.
Guys just aren't getting shots on net. You know, Gospel did the glove save on Björklund Nordstrom on the first shot, and that's pretty much the best one so far.
So we're due a dangle. Will we get it now from Barron? Barron for Leeds brings it forward. Oh, he's finished it over the glove of Jordan Marr. He waited and waited until he was close enough to make the shot really count.
Lovely, lovely goal there by Barron, and just did the simple things. We wondered whether we get the dangle, and instead just skated in at speed and snapped it by him.
So it is all on the stick of Bradley Bowering here. Bowering cradles up through centre, takes a look. Oh, Dragon! What a goal! Bradley Bowering. That man must have ice water in his veins to do what he just did.
Well, we're going to see on the replay here, and with the game on it, where the game was on the stick in overtime. Watch Brad Bowering here. Look at this move. Absolutely freezes gospel to he's rolling.
Now here's Buessa for Leeds. Remember, he can finish it. Oh, he shot it high.
That got a bit of the crossbar on the way over the top, but it ultimately over the crossbar. It's clipped the top of it on the way to hitting the plexi.
So we are now into sudden death penalty shots, and as you were saying earlier, we think the order here might reverse, and I'm correct in saying that they can send players back out now.
Yes, that is my understanding as well, that we should be able to reverse the order. So Marr.
So potentially Bowering and Barron, you would think, would get a second chance, seeing as they were the two who scored in that first round.
Oh, what else does Bradley Bowering have in his locker after that move to keep his side in the game? What a goal it was.
So it is Barron who comes out for Leeds. The order reversed.
We're going to have to wait a minute here because Jordan Marr is still sat by the boards. Well, they're double-checking the procedure, I believe, by the look of it, but my understanding was that they reversed.
Okay. So my sympathy goes out to goalies in this situation.
Yes.
Because, you know, it's such a psychological challenge, I think, the shootout.
Yep. And Jordan Marr, absolutely correctly in these sort of circumstances, he's going to take his time.
Yes.
He's not going to be rushing into this net whatsoever.
So Jordan Marr plays it cool, but it will be Matt Barron with an opportunity to give Leeds the initiative. Barron shot wide.
Well, he's tried the same move again there, and you can't blame him, but after it worked the first time, didn't quite get the angles right. As now the game is on the stick of maybe somebody you could call Mr. Peterborough.
Luke Ferrara takes it up through the middle. Goes wide. Backhand! Yes, he's done it! Backhand, top shelf. The Phantoms against the odds. You wouldn't have picked them, but they've done it here today.
Will Weldon said they had a free hit. Kapow!
Well, absolutely unreal. When you think that Leeds had their nose in front in the shootout, and what Bowering did to get us here, but look at this from Ferrara, so quick, pulls it onto the backhand and gets all the lift in the world to pop it up.
Well, you wondered when we would get the dangle. We got the dangle, and the dangle had done the deal. Peterborough Phantoms have claimed the playoffs.
Jubilation then for the team in red, as you see. We've got the camera down on the ice here.
Well, I tell you what, gentlemen, that was worth every penny and more. What a way to finish that, from one cold as steel dangle to the other. And it's the Peterborough Phantoms that walk away NIHL national champions. Commiserations to the Leeds Knights. But they're a young squad, they're a young outfit, and they've got plenty of time left to put their mark on British hockey.
There's a lot of rubber left in the road in Yorkshire at the moment. Their day will definitely come again, and they've had many days already, this really, really good Knights side. But the night belongs to Peterborough.
Well, Luke Ferrara, what a way to stamp that.
I mean, we talk about that. How long is that Bradley Bowering goal going to be talked about in Peterborough?
I mean, I want to see that again. I think I could watch that a dozen times and not get bored of seeing a play like that. And in the context of the pressure he was under as well, to even attempt that move. Absolutely audacious.
He had the best goalkeeper in the league rolling backwards, swinging himself around in an attempt to get any part of it onto it, and he just didn't have, and Sam Gospel just didn't know what to do.
Will Weldon here leading the handshake line for the Phantoms, and what a story that is, because he will be the one who gets his hands on the silverware to end the many, many years of service he's given this club.
Yeah, I mean, you think of the many great sort of Nottingham juniors who've ended up sort of wandering their way down the road to Peterborough. I mean, Tom Norton, of course, one of them. Will Weldon's had a testimonial. Tom Norton's having his testimonial in May as well. So many of these younger players who are in this lineup with him as well. Hunt, Foster, Kynaston. Thorpe's not an old player either. Matthew Saville, who's been on the bench for the duration of the weekend. What must he be thinking? The standard has been set by a lot of these older guys. And if you're Will Weldon, what a way to say goodbye.
Luke Ferrara, well, he's rolling around on the ice down here. He looks overcome. Comes over to embrace a loved one. What a fantastic story for him as well.
And spare a thought as well for Duncan Spears, who was such a big part of this Peterborough attack during this season. Obviously that horrible leg injury, and he's been standing on the bench. You know that he will have wanted nothing more than to have been able to be out there today, but able to kind of celebrate, because even though he couldn't be on the ice today, the contribution that is built on the backs of the guys who end up not being able to kind of carry on because of injury or whatever happens. So great to see him on the ice celebrating with the team as well.
Yeah, Leeds, you can see there, just making their way past the benches, and there is one happy fan section here at the Skydome. And congratulations again to the Phantoms. Their fans as well. Been one of the noisiest, one of the most respectful, one of the best sections this weekend.
It tells you something as well. The Knights fans are next to the Phantoms fans, and all it is just a case of sort of shouting. This is the sort of the nature of things, that how Dart sport kind of deals with rivalry. It's a rivalry. It's not anything that's you can say a few things, have a few barbs, and then you just kind of get on with it, shake hands, and your day is done.
Yeah. Dare you say it's just bants?
I believe that is what the kids might say. Yes.
Yes. And the officials getting a round of applause.
And of course, those four idiots that came round the goal.
Kind of seem very to call his son an idiot in front of a crowd of thousands, but there we go.
A member of the Skydome family is on his last shift tonight. Yes, Graham, that's you. Yeah, you can look away, Baldy.
So Steve Merry
has been
currently
this whole weekend. Many of you know him as the guy who stands behind the benches in the bar. He has a heart of gold, really, and I will
announcing that there's a member of staff
so please, a massive round of applause
on his
for
last
Graham.
day of work here at the Skydome.
And as a token of appreciation, I think we've got something for you. We've all got together and we've got you a little card, and as a thank you, we've got you a pub. As ever, you're a hockey man first and foremost, and we've got a medal. Thank you very much. Big round of applause for Graham.
So one of the stewards on his last day of work here being recognised for his commitment to the Skydome.
NIHL National League, Ice National League. I think you showed this weekend by selling out this building how passionate we all are. So give yourself a massive round of applause.
It has been an absolutely fantastic atmosphere, as it always is here. It's just a celebration of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever sort of format it's taken, whether it's through the EPL, through the sort of the NIHL 1 split with North and South, and Whitley fans conquering around the rink back in 2018 and 2019. But it's been such a good weekend, and actually the hockey has matched it as well. We've had a real mix of everything. It's not been too tense, it's not been too nervous. Admittedly, it got a little tense at the end there, we can't lie. But we've had a real mix of everything from everybody. The veterans have stood up, younger guys have stepped up and said about that third Peterborough line, that young combination of Glossop, Hunt and Foster, integral to this win. It wasn't, yes, everybody will talk about the Ferrara penalty shot, but the young kids have showed up and showed out again on the biggest stage.
So man of the match here for the Leeds Knights, Noah McMullen, the Canadian import. He's been such a dynamic player, hasn't he, on the back end for them?
He's been superb this weekend. You think of just how dominant he and Bo Neely were yesterday, and he's been fantastic all season for Leeds.
And the man of the match for the Peterborough Phantom is number 5, Ivan Bjorkley-Nordström.
Well,
that's no surprise, really, is it, gents?
we've been praising him, and he's certainly deserved every bit of it. It looks like a fantastic two-way hockey player to me.
We saw much more of his two-way game tonight, I think, than we saw last night. But it was that dedication to what Slava Kulikov had set up there. Got an offensive powerhouse like Bjorkley-Nordström. Yes, he was good going forward, but the amount he came back, the forechecking, the back checking, blocking shots, he did everything tonight.
Probably didn't have many chances, but the one he got, he absolutely finished.
And that's such a hallmark of Peterborough's game, is just how clinical they can be, that they may not get a lot of chances because of that style that kind of invites pressure into it. But yeah, when he had that opportunity, I mean, you think of the few times that Peterborough have hit the net tonight, it was all during the game, it was all quick things that kind of happen at a moment's notice. Errors made, errors exploited, done. And that's it's certainly been quite literally a banner night, if I can steal one of my own phrases there.
James Archer first to come forward to collect the runners-up medal, and what a servant to the game he has been.
He has been a fantastic servant to the game. A smile on his face wherever he's gone. Played for a bunch of different clubs in and around the north. Played for Peterborough, of course, for a very long time as well. So they will, as he waltzes off into the sunset, I think there'll certainly be many rounds of applause for him.
And the young players that Leeds have got, Ethan Hare, Bailey Perret, Dylan Hare as well. They, as we said, a very, very bright future for hockey in Leeds if they can hold on to them.
Always been that sort of hallmark of Ryan Aldridge's coaching style. Get these, not just getting veterans in, but veterans who will kind of make an impact to really, give the lessons to these younger guys to kind of come along. Like Matt Hayward, what a great teacher for some of those younger forwards, about just how much you dedicate yourself to what you need to do to be successful in this sport.
14, Lewis Baldwin.
So Leeds players looking despondent, but as we said, many future glories await. Peterborough, on the other hand, just trying to make sense of what they've been through down here. We look at the Peterborough players just congratulating one another and discussing over the main key points of the game.
You think about it, and this is the beauty of this sport, and also actually the beauty of the national division, that people will say, yes, there was a big gap between Leeds at the top and Bristol at the bottom. The team with the 9th best power play, the 9th best penalty kill, have come in, and when it counted most, have taken the league champions to the limit. And like I said, the guy who you could probably call Mr. Peterborough has sealed the deal in dramatic fashion, almost to the point he forgot where his fans were, turned around, then turned back to jump into the plexiglass.
Those are the kinds of fairy tale plot lines, aren't they? That really only playoff hockey can conjure up.
Yeah, and
I know the league matters most to clubs, because the league clearly is the surest indication, isn't it, of a strength of a team. Given that they've played however many games this year, 50 plus. But something magical about a cup.
Yeah, there very, very, very much is, and the playoffs mean so much. It's ingrained into the mentality of hockey players as to what this means. And yes, the playoff format in this country, some would say, leaves a lot to be desired. But this sort of short format, it does breathe excitement. It's the NIHL is not the only league in the world to have a weekend like this. It happens in college leagues in America. It happens in countries all over the world where maybe you can't have 3, 5, 7 game series for logistical reasons. But what it gives us is exciting action like this, where we get, like I say, the team that nobody believed in themselves, and got themselves over the line. It's worth noting actually as well, 2015 on this ice, James Archer was playing for the Peterborough Phantoms team that beat the Manchester Phoenix, that sent Tony Hand off into retirement. And now, all those years later, as James Archer goes off into retirement, he is sent into retirement by the Peterborough Phantoms. Nice little moment of sort of serendipity there.
Here we see the Phantoms players coming forward to collect their medals. Norton has been absolutely fantastic. Bjorkley Nordstrom comes forward. He was a deserving man of the match in this game.
Very much so.
Louis Kynaston did not get a great deal of ice, but the future is his.
Very much so, and you saw him on the ice on the top line for a couple of shifts tonight as well.
Number 13, Connor Glossop.
Scott Robson there, you see, key part of that Phantoms back end that did such a good job shutting down the Leeds speed and shooting power.
23, Bradley Bowering.
Luke Ferrara, who finished it all with that exceptional backhand.
24, Austin Mitchell King. 25, Billy Thorpe.
What a superb game Thorpe had as well. Just threw himself in front of absolutely everything tonight.
Blocked a few really, really high danger shots, didn't he?
And the man of the hour.
There he is.
33, Jordan Marr.
A big night from Jordan Marr as well.
Well, I hope that photo of Will Weldon getting his medal ends up on a wall somewhere.
Oh, I think there's a photograph of Will Weldon holding something in a minute that's going to go a bit further.
36, Matthew Seville. 42, Tyler Delabatouche. 45, Callum Newglass.
Callum Buglas, of course, big part of the reason why Phantoms made it to this game, his overtime winner against Telford, a goal that's no doubt going to be talked about for a very long time.
That's somebody that's very kindly come around with a bucket to make sure that all the glass bottles go into something safe.
95, Jasper Foster. And number 96, Jarvis Hunt.
Foster and Hunt, who seem to have been stuck together for many, many years, coming through the junior ranks, and what a moment for the two of them, of course.
Hunt will have that memory of his goal here today to carry with him as he continues his career. What a snipe that was.
It was an absolutely beautiful goal as well. And that entire combination, we've spoken about them a lot this weekend, and it's maybe because people were not necessarily expecting just how effective that they would be. But Connor Glossop as well, heavily used on that second Phantoms power play unit in terms of just being a screen. Not one for moving the puck around a massive amount, but he took an awful lot of hacks and whacks over the last couple of days, putting himself in front of the net. So, you know, some people are asked to do the flashy things, some people are asked to do the shiny things, and some people have to do the dirty work. And well, Connor Glossop's dirty work has now got him a very shiny thing.
So, just getting through the rest of the formalities as the rest of the staff and coaching staff collect their winners, medals and caps. And then imminently will be the moment that Will Weldon has probably dreamt about since they took their place in Coventry.
He's retiring, number 29, Will Weldon.
And here he comes.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to say goodbye, and sometimes it's not. Not when it gets to feel like this.
No, ladies and gentlemen, your NIHL national champions, the Peterborough Phantoms.
A little bit of champagne for the crowd there as well. What a moment for these guys.
What a moment, indeed. And the best part is, boys, we get to do it all again next season. Until then, I've been Ben Lee.
I've been George Perrott.
I've been Anthony Russell.
And this has been
Drop the Puck.